Welcome to the Braylon Edwards Show with Shep.
Touchdown, Braylon Edwards.
Braylon Edwards, touchdown, Michigan.
Running pattern to Edwards, touchdown, Michigan.
Where we bring you the best in sports, entertainment, and insight. Join us every weekday from 2 to 4 p.m. as we break down the latest games, analyze the biggest plays, and dive into the hottest topics in sports. We'll have exclusive interviews with your favorite athletes and guests, and you'll get a front row seat to all the action. So tune in to the Braylon Edwards Show with Shep.
Got one-on-one going end zone. Edwards in the air. Oh, what a catch by Braylon Edwards. His second touchdown of the game.
On the Woodward Sports Network, where sports comes to life.
This is the Braylon Edwards Show. Hope you had a great weekend, everybody. I'm Matt Sheppard, and Justin Satawa is filling in for Braylon, who's smacking that little white dimpled ball around some golf course out there. Hopefully he's doing well. He's playing in the Michigan football golf outing, so we'll have some pictures, and we'll have some stories from that tomorrow. Justin, good to have you on board. Of course, Kool-Aid is here, KG is here, and Ricky is here. How was everybody's weekend? Did everybody roll in and out and have a great time?
It was good. It was good. I watched a lot of golf. How'd you like that open score?
Yeah. See, I was way off. I thought about that right away. I said 10 under. Braylon said 13 under. Scotty Scheffler steamrolls everybody to 17
You skipped
under.
over another guess.
What did you say?
16. And you guys looked at me like I was crazy.
16?
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to pull the tape.
Hey, give me.
I'll have the tape tomorrow.
No, I believe you. I totally believe you. Let's just make sure we give him some love for that.
Yeah.
Okay?
What a call, Rick.
Because he would have won the pool, right? I mean,
Yeah, I was thinking about it the
ding-ding.
entire time. He was 14 under, I think, after the second day, or third day, and I was just like, man, I should have bet. I should have bet. You guys had me doubting myself.
You know what? I apologize. I did not remember 16 under par. I used 10 because last year, different course. I get it. Last year, Xander Schauffele won at 9 under.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody would have guessed, except for Ricky, 16, 17 under par.
They were
And he could have
400.
been better than that. That's how
Yeah.
dominant he was. He's unbelievable.
Same with Scotty. Scotty was playing good.
That's what
man.
I'm saying. I'm saying Scotty could,
Oh,
have, been,
gotcha,
could have
man.
been better than
Yeah.
17. How was your weekend?
My weekend was great. Excuse me.
Oh, man.
I was.
you
I went
had
to
a
go listen to
weekend,
some
man.
music,
You had a
and
weekend.
I had a great time with my sister and my girlfriend and her boyfriend Max. It was a great time.
So it was a double date.
Yes.
Yeah.
Double date. Went to go to a concert and enjoyed it. I had a great time and recharged my batteries and ready to get to work. So I'm very excited to be here today with
There
you,
you
Shep.
go.
Can't
All
lie.
right. Yeah, we're going to have some good conversation. Kool-Aid, how was yours?
Hey, you know what? The weekend was awesome, man. Rested a little bit on Saturday, but went down to LCA with Braylon Edwards and took in the Big 3 action, and there was a lot more people down there than I thought. It was pretty electric, man.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. KG, did you have a good weekend? Oh, yeah. Oh, always good.
You got to get you a mic.
You went to your first what? Yeah, KG don't want to be on the microphone today for some
I know,
reason.
bro. You would think
He's chosen to be
Here
out
we
of the
go.
chair today. That's your first Mud Hens game? Yeah. How much did you enjoy it?
Oh, it was great. I was working during it, but it was great.
Okay. Yeah, it's a nice ballpark. It really is. There goes Ricky.
I've never looked at Toledo in a better
Ricky.
Yeah. So
He just gonna bring the mic.
were you watching certain minor league talent that the Tigers hope to call up someday? Or
Well,
what?
I mean, Hayu Lee, he didn't do too bad. I'm trying to think of who else was out there. Who was the other guy they just sent down? I can't remember. But either way, I believe they got the dub. Like I said, I was working during it, so I didn't get a chance to just gawk at
So
the game.
you're not watching it per se.
Yeah.
Okay, I
Just
got
glancing.
you. So yesterday, I did see Braylon. I didn't see Kool-Aid. He was, working the crowd with the dignified people out there at the Amps game, and
Yes,
I
sir.
got my Amps shirt
Yep,
on.
shout out. He killed it on socials.
They were. I agree with Kool-Aid. I could not believe how many people were down there.
Me either. He showed me the picture a second ago. I was like, oh my God, that looks like
Yeah.
it's sold out.
Yeah, it wasn't, but there were a lot of fannies in the seats. I thought there would be, 2,500, 3,000 people. Kool-Aid, how many did you say was down there?
I don't know how many were down there, but
It's got to be at least 8.
I'm getting this picture set up right now so people can see it. It was a decent amount of people, man.
Oh, wow.
And this
That
was
great.
later.
Damn,
This
look
was
at
later
that.
in the day. I have it up here on the screen. This was later in the day. Yeah, I was told that it was a lot more people at the game than even what you see here. And they said that it was a cool thing throughout the entire day. You had families that were coming down. You had people that enjoyed those older basketball players, the Dwight Howards of the world and such. And then they were looking forward to the Iceman, Joe Johnson, and the Detroit Amplifiers.
Well,
their home
yeah,
debut.
Obviously, you're just watching the Iceman, George Gervin. Joe Johnson was injured, so you didn't get a chance to see him.
Nah.
I had a couple of Pistons legends ask me, how come all these teams have names we know and you guys don't, which is Detroit. And I said, well, Joe Johnson, the team was built around Joe Johnson.
Yes.
Sir.
Yeah.
Miami has, Lance Stevenson, Michael Beasley, Mario Chalmers, guys you recognize. I think the league's in its 8th year. We're not going to do a ton of time on this, but league is in the 8th year. There are things it can do to make it more appealing, like bring Detroit talent to Detroit. So I would ask you, if a guy who is from Detroit played on the Detroit Amps, probably more likely to go down and check him out. Let's just say, and he's not from Detroit. Let's just say Trey Burke was available, okay? Or Chris Allen, who plays for another team in the league, who played at MSU. Again, Chris Allen's not from Detroit. Trey Burke's not from Detroit. Both played in the state. People can at least recognize and associate with them. Do you think that would help?
Yes, 100%. I think having a Wolverine or a Spartan there would 100% help. If Trey Burke was there, for me personally, Trey Burke ignited my love for Michigan basketball when I was 11 years old. So I would have 100% went down there for Trey Burke. Yeah. I would have even went down there for Joe Johnson, though. I love ISO Joe. I think that he's an intriguing player to watch. Yeah. I think he is why this league is so special, is because he has that ability to really just cross someone up and create his own space on the court, and that's what this league is about. So I really am intrigued with this league. I tap in every once in a while. I do think it's intriguing, and I think that when there are these players that are coming back who you haven't got to see, especially in a primary role on a team, because a lot of these guys fall down into the last rotation of the bench, but they're good enough because they are volume scorers to still volume score. So I do think it is intriguing, and I do enjoy it.
It's the reason Johnson's a 3-time league MVP.
100%.
I was just really proud of Detroit because there were a lot of people. The ownership group is from the area, from the state, but doesn't live here. So there was a big question mark. And I actually went up to Ice Cube during the game and said to him, I don't listen to any of your music, but I'm just kidding. But I did say to him, look, thanks for being here. Appreciate it. Yeah. Your crew's been really good to work with, and I hope Detroit's doing it proud. He's like, absolutely. Like, everything was first class. There were dignitaries, including Braylon, back in the Players Club. You don't see that in any other team in this league. I know there's only 8.
But, Matt, that's where I was going to go with this thing. You talk about why doesn't Detroit get those big players right now. I think a lot of it has to do with the fact of everything you're saying. Detroit shows up and shows out. That was the theme of my basically recap video of the Big Three, is that every event we put on, I think people know they're going to support what has Detroit on it and what's done well. And I thought that the Big Three, I thought Game Above, I thought the Detroit Amplifiers, I thought that they all put on, from the introduction of the team, which you did a good job hosting the event, to what you saw yesterday. And I do believe that sometimes when you're trying to make this league that much more popular, they're probably sending out popular players to where the passion is a little bit less.
Yeah,
we got the culture.
I'll tell you, I love your passion, and I think you're right for the most part, because I've said the same thing about the city. There have been plenty of examples where it's been disappointing. Okay, seriously. I mean, there's whether it be hockey tournaments at formerly Joe Louis Arena or at Little Caesars that aren't necessarily sold out. Football games. We're supposed to be a football crazed town. How many people go to the Game Above Sports Bowl? I know last year was Toledo and Pitt. It was a decently sized bowl, but it's not like we're packing things in. No. Okay, it was a very inexpensive way to spend the afternoon. What stunned me is I talked to a number of different fans. I worked all over the arena, sat at different spots and talked to a lot of different good folks. And they said, some of them were saying, this is the first time I've ever been in the arena.
Oh, wow.
And I said, really?
Wow.
You've never been to a Pistons game. You've never been to a Red Wings game. So I think the pricing is about right if you're getting 4 games, if you stay for all 4 games. I was just really proud that Detroit did what they did, and I really appreciate people like Braylon, Terry Mills, James Edwards, Ron Holland came out, Jalen Dern came out. A lot of people showed their face, and when you get, big sports names in this town show up in an event, it tells you something about the event.
I think it does. And I think that its debut in Detroit, it went as well as it could have.
I think you're right. I think you're right. Now, that's a high bar, for
100%.
them to meet, because I don't think there's any – I'm not going to sit here and tell you I watch all 4 games every weekend. I don't think there's another city that has hosted that large of a crowd, number one. And prior to the game, the day before on a Saturday at 1 o'clock, they had what is called the Young 3 event. And there were nonprofit group kids coming down and getting instruction from a lot of the players.
Oh, that's dope. I love when they do stuff like that.
And guys, George Gervin, Grant Long, spoke to the kids and their parents.
There you go.
About
Love
moving
it.
forward in life. Really cool.
Love it.
Yeah, and they all got a basketball. They all got a water bottle. They all had an unbelievable experience in a jersey. And that's what I hope is most important. I hope we bring that forward. There's a phrase called bring forth greatness. I hope we bring forth that greatness of the city and the people who make the city up.
Hey, Matt, everybody I talked to yesterday, I did the same thing in some of those interviews. I'm going to make sure it hits the YouTube either today or tomorrow. That's what people were saying. They were like, yo, this event has just been cool to be at.
Yeah.
Fun, safe. And it was interesting, man. All the kids that were sitting behind us, it was shout out to the Motor City Jaguars, or 12 and under football club. They got to meet Braylon Edwards and showered him with a lot of love, but they knew everybody that was down there. It was interesting to see their generation knowing like all of the different kind of side characters. And obviously everybody knows O'Shea, Ice Cube's son, but they knew everybody. They were getting down there to take pictures, and they were even understanding of some of the players. And one of the cool things I saw too is mentors, fathers, parents, and such, like educating their kids on the next wave of, or that wave, their era of NBA players.
Yeah,
and such.
if they know
it was
some
a
of
cool,
those guys.
It was a cool pairing.
Yeah, I hope they also. I had a chance to visit with Michael Cooper before the game, and Julius Erving before the game and after the game, and that's my generation. Great players, both Hall of Fame players. If you think about it, every coach in the league, Gary Payton was a coach. George Gervin, Michael Cooper, they're all Hall of Fame players.
Yeah.
But if you want to move forward with the league, you've got to have more than just Hall of Fame coaches, because they ain't playing. You got to have players who people can relate to and recognize. How do you get that? That's the next question for them to
especially because the way the NBA contracts have just soared in the last couple of years. I think that it's only going to become more and more of an issue trying to get big names into the league.
100%.
Because most of these players, if they are even a Tobias Harris level guy, Tobias Harris has made $275 million in his career.
Yeah.
He has no reason to play in the Big Three. He should be set for
Why
life.
would you want to?
Love of the game.
Hanging on. We could have said the same thing about Allen Iverson earlier in the Big Three, but he gambled all his money away. So, in all likelihood.
Yeah.
So, a lot of those guys do it for the love of the game, but they're also doing it a little bit financially.
Yep.
They don't make a lot of money in that league.
No, they do not.
Okay. So, most of them, to your point, is for the love of the game. So.
And Matt, that's what they spoke to when we were down at the reveal of the Detroit Amps. That's what all of them spoke to. We have it on our Woodward Sports socials when we covered it. And I remember you did the kickoff. Shout out to Anthony Tomei, one of the part of the ownership group. But from George Gervin to Joe Johnson to Jeremy Pargo, who is the captain of the team, that's what they all spoke to.
Yeah.
This is for the love of the game. This is for getting back into it. And then they all looked around and they said, we didn't imagine that it could be this. They looked around and they were like, look at this. Like, this is the biggest and the best rollout we've had.
Yeah.
And now guess what? They stepped into LCA, which is probably one of the better turnouts that they've had.
Well, I think it's the finest facility. So Little Caesars Arena does everything right.
Detroit did that
and it
thing.
really helps that the city does so many things right. There is a new standard, okay? And I think there might be, if it's not jealousy, it might be people starting to worry a little bit about one organization taking it to an extreme in their minds, not in the minds of the Amps. But I think you got to do things right. And if you want players, if you want success, you got to do it right. We can pat ourselves on the back here at Woodward Sports. What you guys do social media wise, you do it right.
Hey, shout out Justin and Travis.
Yeah, we've had like 15 shout-outs already this morning. Yeah. So when you have that social media presence and you recognize how good it is, that's a standard that other people, I don't care if it's a radio station, a TV station, they're going to try to accomplish that. They're going to try to reach that. There's something to be said for that, right? Absolutely. Speaking of setting a standard. I can't say that. Look, we all drive differently in this area, especially on Woodward, where people are just weaving in and out right until you hit that light. Kool-Aid and I had a little bit of an issue in the parking lot today. We're going to get to that. First, we're going to get to Ven Johnson. Justin's got the man, the myth, the legend who fights for everybody out there.
Yeah, let me tell you about Ven Johnson. Ven Johnson is the best in the game. Justice, it just means different things to different people, but whether it's a settlement or a verdict, justice is always worth the fight. If you've got a case, contact the fighters at Ven Johnson Law today and get the justice you deserve. Tough, tenacious trial lawyers, that's Ven Johnson Law. Visit them at venfights.com and he'll fight for you.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Head to woodwardsports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward sports gear. Woodwardsports.com can get the whole team outfitted. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. Shop online at woodwardsports.com.
Summer's heating up and Feldman's clearing space for the incoming new models. That means massive markdowns during Feldman's Hot Summer Sale. Get a 2025 Silverado for just $189 a month, or this 2026 Equinox for just $209 a month. Inventory's moving fast, and when it's gone, it's gone. So don't sweat the search. Just get to Feldman. More locations, more inventory, more ways to save. The Hot Summer Sale is on at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit sports.
We're going to talk a little bit about parking cars and using your horn in a moment. And, if you got a car, hopefully the horn works. If you got a car, hopefully the car works. If you don't have a car and you got a car that doesn't work, there's the best place to go is Les Stanford, Chevrolet, Buick, and GMC. Great offers for everybody. Right now, they've got a 2025 Hummer EV SUT lease special, $599 a month. That's it, plus tax. They've got a 2025 Sierra double cab elevation lease special. It's $169 a month. It's $169 a month. You get the point. It's unbelievable. Go to Les Stanford today. Check out their massive inventory of Buick and GMC, whatever it may be. Like, I recently drove the AT4 truck. God, it was awesome. It really was. Les Stanford's got plenty of them, plenty of different colors for you, and the right price range for you. Les Stanford, Buick, and GMC. For all lease specials, go to lesstanford.com.
And we back.
I drove a car without a horn once. It was actually hilarious.
You drove a car without a horn?
Yeah, the horn didn't work for like a month when I was in high school. Yeah.
Goodness.
Oh, that was a high school car? What was your first? What was your first car?
1995. It was a dark money green Pontiac Grand Am with the dual pipes GT.
Wow. How much did that cost you?
$600.
That's it?
Yeah, it needed a new transmission, which then cost me around like $1,100.
Okay. How much Bondo was on it? Any?
No, actually the body wasn't that bad. It was a little rust, but
why'd
the body
you get rid of
wasn't that bad. I think radiator. I can't remember. It was a long time ago.
Oh man.
I think
sounds
radiator
like a pretty
engine
nice ride.
Oh yeah, it was. I think it worked. Let's just say it worked.
Okay. Justin, first car.
My first car was a Ford Fusion.
Nice.
I loved it. It was
You did?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Well, I mean, it was a pretty new Ford Fusion. I was lucky enough to get a pretty new car, and I drove it for 4 years. I loved it. Gave it back because of the lease.
Sure.
And now I have a new Ford Escape that I love.
Okay.
So.
KG?
98 Ford Contour. Rest in peace, Connie. She was a nice gold color. And shout out to my...
He named it.
Yeah, dog. You got to name the first
all
car.
my cars had names.
You got to name the first car.
Moolah. Her name was Moolah.
Hey.
What's your current car's name?
You know what? I didn't name this one.
This one, all my cars.
Right.
Yeah, the last one. So my last one went out, and I literally just went to the dealership and just grabbed whatever they had and just drove.
You know what?
with
My
it.
daughter names her cars.
Yeah.
I've never named mine. So
Really?
What's your car? What's the name?
I call it the Batmobile. Because it's black on black.
Gotcha. But you don't have it's not necessarily unnamed. You don't name it a person's name or something like that.
My first car, I named a person's name.
Okay.
Yeah.
KG, what's the car?
My last car was named Felix because it was a Ford Fiesta. But, David, the cars is sweet. You got to throw a nickname on
It's the first I've heard. It's awesome, though. I think it's great. Kool-Aid?
Hey, you know what? This is how I know that KG and I are definitely brothers. My first car was an all-white 97 Ford Contour.
Hey,
with absolutely no stripes.
Contour game.
I was bouncing up and
You
down
were
the road.
bouncing it.
That was my first one.
Did you name it?
No, because it had
Okay.
no stripes. I wasn't even trying to have people see me in that.
That's awesome. I think that's so cool.
What's yours, Shep?
My first car was a 1977 yellow Camaro with black leather interior.
Nice.
Black stripes at the bottom. Cost $1,000.
Nice.
That's it. It's a lot of money back then, according to my father. Then I got a 78 Firebird.
Nice.
Damn, Shep.
You had muscle cars.
Burgundy with white interior.
Just stun on us, why don't you?
And one of my buddies sat in the back with a flipping blue pen in his back pocket.
Oh, no.
Got up and blue stripe up my white.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
I'm sorry, Shep.
I was so pissed.
So your Firebird, did it have the
What a
T-top?
cars for you,
The
Shep.
Firebird did not have the T-top.
You
unfortunately.
gotta get the
But-
T-top.
I know.
But
I
what
know.
a run of cars for you. I'm sitting here listening to your car collection. I'm thinking back to mine, like 97 Ford Contour, 95 Volvo. This is in the mid 2000s.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you pushing all the muscle.
Yeah, but you know what?
yeah,
It's
muscle
they were muscle cars, but it's not like they were in prime shape. You
I
know what mean?
dream to drive a prime muscle car. It's actually one of my
Yes.
life goals is to have my own old Detroit muscle car.
Go get
Yeah.
it.
And
Go get it.
I'm so excited. But one thing we do have to go get is a couple of these super chats that we've missed over this.
All right,
first
fire
segment.
away.
Shout out to Dante151 for the $4.99 super chat. Went and saw the movie Eddington, and what a weird, interesting movie to watch. But I mean, Joaquin Phoenix plays through weird roles really well.
I mean, the last statement is
I've never heard of the
definitely
movie.
I've never heard of the movie either. I am a fan of Joaquin Phoenix. I think he's a great actor, but I didn't personally have not seen anything about that movie, even any promo for it.
Kool-Aid, have you heard of the movie?
I have no idea what he's talking about. I know the actor. I like his stuff.
Oh yeah, he's
but I haven't
really
heard
good.
I haven't heard of
Never
this
heard
actually.
of
Yeah,
You never heard of the movie? KG, you heard of the movie?
No, not at all.
The only movies I've been tapped in lately that I've been wanting to go see is Superman, the F1 movie, and then I'm really excited for Fantastic Four later this week.
100%.
How many? Okay, so I'm glad you guys are here. I'm glad you guys can relate to that stuff. That the interest for me on that is just below the WNBA.
Hey, I'm with you. Hey, I'm glad I'm not the only one.
How many
I'm with you,
Superman movies are there? And do we have any idea?
There are.
I'm not a superhero.
If you're going back to back in the
was
day,
one-
probably
Shep,
like
I was
7,
one
8.
for
I'm not
let them-
talking Christopher Reeve. I'm talking.
I wanted them to finish the last one. Just finish the last story before we start another one. I 100% feel you there. I was one that, look, let Henry Cavill do his thing. We
But
already have a
doesn't the
Superman.
story
Why
always
start it
end?
over?
He lives, right? What the hell's the ending?
I'm with you.
Come on,
I'm with
Shep.
you.
Am I wrong on that?
It
have
depends
the
on what
same
comic
Depends on what-
storyline you
yeah.
go with.
Okay.
Because he does die in like 2 or 3 movies ago, but this is a
does?
completely
Yeah,
he dies
like
and then
the
he gets
Justice League?
resurrected.
Yeah.
That's a spoiler alert for anybody out there who hasn't watched it.
Well, I hope they've watched that movie. That
And the
movie's been out
Final
since
Four, they got a
2018.
Final Four movie out too, coming out.
A Fantastic
Fantastic
Four.
Both of these are
Or
brand
Final
new.
Four.
Final
I'd go
Four.
watch the Final Four movie. Let's see the Fantastic
Hey,
Four.
you got the right things on your mind right now.
Yeah,
Oh
you
my
do.
God,
We
man!
talking about Fantastic
Honest to
Four.
God, I'd love to know who's playing in these things.
Pedro Pascal is playing in
That doesn't
the
help
Fantastic
me.
Four movie.
He's the guy in the
Pedro's
memes.
a great actor, though.
He's
yeah,
the guy
I-
in the memes. That's
they
what I know him from.
Hey,
He's just in all the memes.
He was in
played the
Narcos.
Mandalorian.
You don't
You
watch
know
like
the
dramas
Mandalorian.
and stuff like that?
I watch a lot of sports.
Just all
Okay.
sports. It's
I'm
valid.
with you, man.
That's
I
all
don't watch-
I haven't been able to
I
watch
gotta-
a TV show in 3 months.
I got to slip outside the box, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
The bubble's got to break. I'm going to tell you, man.
It's-
I can't believe they've got a Fantastic Four. I thought that was a long time ago.
It was.
See, here's the thing. People complain about old guys like me, and then young people go back and watch the old guys' movies from back in the day
And try to
better.
remake them. Yes.
and try to remake them. Because is there any creativity left in Hollywood?
not really.
Not really.
They
No,
can't.
no.
You know what it was? Years ago, they switched up to buying like IPs, so they knew they could sell merchandise because they didn't make the money off the DVDs and tapes. I'm a media nerd here, so they used to make money off the tapes and stuff like that. So they could, they'll spend $30 million on your movie and mess around, make $35 million on the back end. Once they stop making that, they want to get something they can sell a lot of merch from. That's why you see all these rehashed IPs that they just like, all right, we can rebrand it and put it back out like Barbie.
Yeah, like this is a completely new storyline.
Yeah.
All of these movies, the Fantastic Four movie and the Superman, are completely new storylines with new characters that haven't existed yet, like new actors, new directors.
You buy that,
and they're even a new world. Like it's even like completely a different. Separate
It's a new world. They're not in this world. They're from out of this world.
Yeah, well,
wow.
they're all exploring multiverses and stuff, and it's so messy at this point.
But it's got you, so that's cool.
I mean, I'm a huge superhero nerd, and I always have been.
Me too.
So you're always gonna go.
Yeah, I'm always gonna go.
So they've got you.
They've got me. I've even admitted that the last couple movies, there's definitely been some flops in there on both sides of the DC Marvel.
But they got your money.
But they got me.
Okay,
no.
that's cool.
They for sure got me.
You said the F1. Who's the lead actor in the F1?
Brad Pitt.
Yeah, which is strike two for me. Do you believe he's like get a real race car driver?
Well, there's actually the entire
honestly,
rest of the cast is race car drivers.
Except for the main character.
Yes.
Because he's got to fall in love with some hot woman, right? And we're supposed to believe that he's in an arcade driving a real car.
It got to be Brad Pitt if he's falling in love with a woman.
Well, they actually recorded.
They want Brad.
They recorded the movie on F1 tracks with F1 drivers. Like they sent Brad Pitt out there in an actual F1 car with the rest of the cars to film the movie.
Okay.
That's why I'm.
Was he driving it?
Yes.
Okay.
He was driving
at that speed.
I doubt he was driving it at full
yeah.
speed, but they're gonna make it look like he is.
For sure. Okay, that's cool. It's one of the things I loved most about Miracle.
Oh,
those
I
guys,
love Miracle. Oh my God.
Outside of Kurt Russell, obviously, those guys are real hockey players.
Yes.
Yeah.
You could tell.
Yes.
I play hockey, and
it's a huge difference. Look, Mystery Alaska, bad movie. Russell Crowe can't skate.
No.
Yeah.
So it's the need is, we've got to get a big name to sell it. Okay, but is it believable?
Yes.
That's the big question.
And that's my issue with Mighty Ducks and how it hasn't turned up like time after time. I know they're youth hockey players, but just some of the stuff that they're doing is like, what am I even watching right now?
Yeah.
And that really
Estevez
bothers
can't
me.
skate either.
No.
Yeah. Hockey's a tricky one.
It is a tricky one.
that's
That's why there's not a lot of hockey movies.
Yeah, that's why there's not a lot of hockey movies.
And when you do them, it's not well-known actors, like you said with Miracle. Like they did it right. They went with hockey players who can act instead of actors who can kind of play hockey.
Exactly.
And that's the way they should.
And it is probably my favorite sports movie.
Well, my favorite is Super Chats, and we got one more of them.
Okay,
about
go
the
one
big
more.
three.
One more, and then we
One
got something.
Transition.
Speaking of F1 and cars.
Yes, sir. Nobody, $5 Super Chat. Joe J gets buckets in Detroit, loves getting buckets. Shep, always enjoyed listening to you in Grand Rapids. Also, is this the youngest host you've ever worked with? I'm 23.
Probably.
That's a good question.
I've never asked people their ages.
That's a great question.
I don't.
That's an interesting question.
I don't ask people their ages. It doesn't matter to me. I care what kind of people they are more than anything else, and whether they're prepared and you're prepared. So I'm fine with that. So might be. I'm not even sure. Early on in my broadcasting career, there might have been somebody who was equally as young as I was, 22, 23, but I wasn't hosting the show, so I never gave that much thought. I should probably think about that a little bit. So you're mentioning F1. We're talking about cars a little bit. I'm pulling into our parking lot here in Birmingham.
Yeah, let me hear the story.
And there's a car stopped in front of our entrance. There's a parking spot that is prime.
Oh man!
Right? Usually it's tough to find those parking spots. So there's a good-looking car in front of me that's parked, and you can see that there's a couple of heads in there, and nobody's moving. And I'm like, okay, pause. Song's about to end. Pause. I'm like, okay, I'm behind somebody, so I'm not afraid to go beep. There's a difference between laying on the horn and just giving a quick beep, right? Laying on the horn, you're being kind of a jackass. A quick beep is, hey, I'm here.
Yeah, that's
right. So I just give it a quick beep. Passenger side door opens. Who comes out? Kool-Aid. Kool-Aid looks back, flips me off, No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Classic Kool-Aid.
I was gonna tell you in the car. We were like, "Oh, let me go out there and show whoever this is." No, just
That's awesome.
It was. I don't want to say it was uncomfortable, but it is one of those things. Like, as he's getting out, you're like, "Oh crap." That's a buddy of mine. Hey, what's going on, man? I just want to say hello.
Yeah.
You tried to play it off, Ricky.
I saw you
hey,
inside.
it's good to see you, man. Just wanted to say hi. All the best.
As soon as I turned around, I just saw his smile, bro. That's it. I was like, you know what? Shout out to Shep, man. Because me personally, I saw the spot and instantly I was like, oh crap, bro. Like we're in somebody's way. Then I saw it with Shep. I'm like, you know what? I'm glad we saved that spot for him.
Yeah, right.
That's what we were really
There you go,
doing.
teamwork.
Like,
Okay.
We knew Shep was on the way.
You want the real story?
Teamwork.
Inside the car with the doors shut, the windows rolled up. Who's that son of a bitch behind us with the Maverick glasses? Come on,
Hey,
man. Tell him to
Tom
chill
Cruise.
out. Tell him to chill out. Be honest. Be honest. Whoever was dropping you off, what did they say? Be honest. It's okay.
Hey.
I've heard a lot worse. Trust me. Okay. Scotty Bowman's called me names. Don't worry about it.
She sent me out there to go handle it, and I was like, man, I wonder who this is. I saw it with Shep. I was like, all right, babe, we all good. We all good. No, she was cool, man. She was more nervous than anything.
I believe it.
She's a nervous bird behind the wheel. I was like, you straight? I was like, that's just Shep. And she just started crying, cracking up, not crying.
Shout out
cracking
Queen
up.
Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
Shout out to
For
Queen
real,
Kool-Aid.
she is
Queen Kool-Aid.
awesome. And the funny thing about that is that has happened
out.
to me a million times in the morning with Kool-Aid, where I'll be pulling in and he'll just be sitting there getting dropped off, and I'm trying to pull into the spot. It happens so often.
Because these spots are valuable.
They
man.
are valuable.
You get one of those,
Yeah.
you feel like you've won the lottery.
Yeah, no, ever since I turned that corner, I hope. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
please.
I show up early enough in the morning, I get one every time.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And
I filled in the other day in the mornings. Yeah, it was nobody
It was
out
so
there.
nice.
I got
There's
here so
always
early.
four
There's almost
spots
a
in the morning.
satisfaction to that, isn't there?
There is.
You're
There is,
like,
no
you know,
doubt.
it was worth getting up at 4:30 in the morning for this.
Like this
I
morning,
get up
I pulled up a
early
little
anyway.
late. I pulled up at 9 instead of 8 when I usually get here,
Yeah.
and I still got a spot. And I was
Nice.
like, because usually they're gone by
Right.
9. They're
Right.
gone.
So you're going, it's going to be a good day today.
Yes, 100%.
It's going to be a really good Monday today. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about what ESPN said regarding the Tigers and whether or not this is possible. But first, this from BlackRock.
Yes, sir. Let me tell you about the great promotion that BlackRock is currently running. BlackRock has 8 weeks of giveaways that roll out. We are in week 2. Congrats to our Tigers ticket winner, Chris Radditt from Canton. And now you can win a fillet for a year. I should say fillets for a year. That's one free 8-ounce fillet entree every month. Enter by scanning the QR code above my head. Every entry also gets you a shot at the grand prize, 4 tickets to the home football opener on September 14th. Entry closes July 27th, so get ready and set and then sizzle.
Promise you guys, this is an elite show and you want to stay tapped into the new Sean Belegian in the morning with Maz only on the Woodward Sports Network. We're pumped to announce it, man. And shout out to everybody that gave them a good reception this morning. Every day, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m., you can hear Sean Belegian in the morning with Maz. 2 Detroit sports legends, Sean Belegian and Thomas Mazaway, team up to bring you bold takes, big laughs, and unfiltered Detroit sports talk. Expect breaking news, guest interviews, interactive segments, and that classic Detroit fire. Grab your coffee and start your mornings with real Detroit sports radio only on Woodward Sports Network it started today. Thank you guys for tapping in. Let's go.
Summer's heating up and Feldman's clearing space for the incoming new models. That means massive markdowns during Feldman's hot summer sale. Get a 2025 Silverado for just $189 a month, or this 2026 Equinox for just $209 a month. Inventory's moving fast, and when it's gone, it's gone. So don't sweat the search. Just get to Feldman. More locations, more inventory, more ways to save. The hot summer sale is on at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
Head to WoodwardSports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward Sports gear. WoodwardSports.com can get the whole team outfitted. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. Shop online at WoodwardSports.com.
Why do we fight? We fight to protect the innocent, to hold the powerful accountable. to bring the oppressors to justice. Why do we fight? We fight to secure and preserve our civil liberties, to get each and every one of our clients the justice they deserve, and to make the lives of real people just like you whole again. ThenFights.com.
Are you tired of wearing the same old Detroit sports merch? Well, hey, it's a new era in sports wearable. New designs, amazing apparel, and ultimate swag. You guys already know. Check out Woodward Sports' latest gear at woodwardsports.com and click shop. Hoodies, tees, and the hats that are guaranteed to turn heads. Get the latest designs today at woodwardsports.com. Remember, guys, click shop. We back.
So in the chat, somebody sends us, so no sports, real nice. Well, we did talk about the Detroit Amps, talked about the city. This is a show, in case you were wondering, this is a show where friends get together and talk sports, but talk about everyday life too.
Talk to them, Shep.
So this is not going to be, if you want, well, I can't even say Sports Center because they've got a lot of clowns on Sports Center. But if you're looking for from 2:01 to 3:59:50 of sports every day, you're probably not going to get it.
No.
Yeah.
Okay? Because we talk about a lot of different things. Our first show, we talked about going to Braylon's house, and he had us over for dinner and the camaraderie. That's not what it's about. Now, if your time is precious and you can't spend the time with us, then I suggest you carve out a little bit of a niche. We'll put it up on social media because our social media group is the best there is, and you'll be able to find it. So I just want you to know that. I mean, it's not going to be wall-to-wall sports for 2 full hours. We will do the majority. I would guess 90% of our show will be sports. But I'm going to take the time, especially after a weekend, to see how my friends did over the weekend and enjoy some storytelling. That's just the way this show is going to be. If it's not, then it's not for you.
It's just like sports. When you're watching the game, sometimes you deviate and talk about life, or just like when you're at a game, you're not just going to talk about sports the whole time. You're going to talk about life.
Hell, the broadcasts aren't about the game.
That part.
A lot of times. So don't give me that. But speaking of broadcasts, last night, Tigers play on Sunday Night Football, baseball, which is great. Beat Texas 2-1. Matt Vierling comes through, just his 5th RBI. Everybody wanted him gone. I understand why, but suddenly he comes through. So Tarek Skubal was outstanding. 11 strikeouts. 7th time in his career already he's had double-digit strikeouts. That is a franchise record. He's going to win the Cy Young again. During the broadcast, David Cohn, who's a really good dude, I met him in New York, really good broadcaster as well, has really good insight, said he's going to be the highest paid pitcher in baseball history. Not himself, he's already retired. It's Tarek Skubal. Carl Ravitch, who calls the games for ESPN, immediately said, are you talking about $400 million? And David Cohn didn't answer that, nor would I expect him to, but he did say that Yoshi Yamamoto is the highest paid at $325 million right now. He's the highest paid complete package, not per year. Per year, it's Zach Wheeler. He makes $42 million. All right? He signed a 3-year extension worth $124 million. You're not going to get that with Tarek Skubal. Immediately, when they said $400 million, I just cringed. And I cringed because that's the number, $40 million a year, that many Detroiters associate with Tarek Skubal and Aiden Hutchinson, which to me are both highly irresponsible. But that's probably what it takes. Like, Justin, you and I were talking before the show about Max Scherzer. And people were wondering, well, this franchise isn't going to pay it and all this other stuff. And, I think, not that I want to stick up for Chris Ilitch, he gets a little bit of a bad rap. Back then, they were willing to give Max Scherzer $24 million a year. That was less than Justin Verlander. Verlander was making closer to 26. They had a mano v mano type battle between the two, which I think is healthy. I got no problem with it as long as you're not throwing each other under the bus and so on and so forth. He bet on himself. He did the right thing. He did the right thing for himself. He didn't do the right thing for the Tigers, I suppose. They could have done something different. It's funny how the bar is always rising. We always hear people talk about, well, look who reset the bar. Who reset the bar in the NFL? Well, it was Jamar Chase. And then who is it? Well, then it's Myles Garrett, or was it vice versa? And now it's going to be T.J. Watt. Mm-hmm. And, Aiden Hutchinson's going to reset the bar, or Micah Parsons is going to reset the bar. Well, with the Tiger situation back in the day, Verlander and Scherzer, everybody got pissed that Scherzer wanted to say, I'm going to reset the bar. He did reset it. He just didn't reset it with somebody else, right? $40 million a year for Tarek Skubal, 10 years. He's 39. Tiger fans had all kinds of problems with Miguel Cabrera being that old and making as much money. Why do we think it's going to be okay for Tarek Skubal?
I don't think that people think it's okay. I think that people believe, at least for my case, that Tarek Skubal's usage is going to be worth it over that time span, not necessarily in those years, because you're going to get screwed on the back end. That's how all these MLB contracts work. No MLB player stays as good as they are when they're 28, when they're 39. It's just an unreasonable expectation to have for these players.
Man.
But what they can do is he can be worth more than $40 million for the next 5 to 7 years because he is the best pitcher in baseball. And like you said, there's going to be probably 6 more pitchers that reset the market during that time span. So let's say in 6 years, is Tarek Skubal being the 6th highest paid pitcher in the MLB? Is that okay?
I don't care where he ranks. I care how much he makes. Rankings to me mean nothing. I want to know how much he makes and is that worth it? You're okay with somebody who participates in 19% of your games making $40 million, which is almost half of what their payroll is. Well, not quite half, but about a third of what their payroll is now.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be. It's a non-salary cap.
You don't
league.
have to be. You don't have to be. You don't have to be fine with it at all.
Then you'll never compete with the Yankees. You'll never they're just going to pluck him away.
You're not competing with you're not competing with the Yankees now. You're not competing with the Dodgers. You're not competing with the Red Sox. You're not competing with the Mets. Okay? You're not in the same. Juan Soto wasn't looking at you like, "Hey, I might go to Detroit."
But Tarek Skubal is. He wants to commit. If he gets $400 million from the Tigers, I have complete certainty that he will commit. Now,
you have complete certainty that he's going to commit?
Not complete certainty.
Okay.
But I would be betting. I am a betting man. And if you were to give me even odds, if his contract is $400 million and the Tigers are willing to pay it, and the Dodgers and the Yankees are in the same ballpark, he will stay.
Because?
Because he loves his city. And he has gone on. I can only go off from what he says.
You realize there's a lot of players in sports over the years who've said, "I love this city."
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So money talks, man. Money talks.
No,
and if the ballpark is the same on the contracts from the Dodgers and from the Yankees, and the Tigers are willing to pony up the same amount of bread, I do believe Tarek Skubal will be a Detroit Tiger.
Okay.
Well, Justin, a lot of that, when he said he loved the city and he would love to stay here, a lot of that may have been posturing by him and his agent. Like Scott Boras, you do have to take into account that is his agent.
Who was
and
Max
his relationship
Max
with
Scherzer's agent.
Right. And that relationship with the Tigers ain't necessarily the best. Yeah. But my question to you, Shep, is why can't the Tigers be like those other teams that you named?
I'm not saying
what's holding them back in a no salary cap.
I'm not saying they can't. Okay, and I know there's no salary cap, but there is a tax.
Yeah.
Okay, so for us, I'm not in the habit of spending other people's money.
I get it.
I think it's very easy for me to say, or Justin to say, $400 million, go spend it. 10 years, take him to 39. It'll be bad on the back end, but it'll be worth it on the front end. How's it been for Philadelphia? Have they won a World Series? With Zach Wheeler? How's it been with Garrett Cole? Have they won a World Series with Garrett Cole? That's like I say, it's not the everyday play. I know this is taboo. I know this is not what people believe. I think we have what happens in this town probably more than any other. Maybe it happens in a lot of towns. We get someone who we think is the best, and we just want to throw money at them, whether we think it's responsible or not. Because we want them to be here, and we think it's great that he loves the city and all this other stuff. You know what I want? I want the best team possible. And if his payroll is not going to exceed a whole lot more than what he is right now, or even, let's say, $150 million, spending that much on one guy is not very responsible.
But Shep, what he is right now is a damn near 2-time Cy Young winner back to back. Entering, I would say, the prime. He hasn't even scratched his prime yet. Like he's getting toward his prime.
I think he's in his prime for sure. Yeah, and he's probably got 4 or 5 more years of this stuff.
Easy,
without a doubt.
You don't think that's worth that?
I don't think a pitcher is worth $40 million.
Fair.
I don't. Everyday player might be something different. I'd take that $40 million and I would spend it on a couple other really good pitchers. Is what I would do.
I think that because of how this Tigers organization is set up, with the players being young, a lot of them already being locked up, and then obviously you're going to be dealing with the arbitration where you're going to be able to get a lot of these guys for very cheap deals.
Right.
And you have the Max Clarks coming up, you have the McGonicals coming up, which are obviously sure thing.
Yeah, I don't know about. I don't count on guys at Double-A who took a while to get through A-ball, and not all these guys are locked up. You're talking about arbitration eligible. One guy's locked up, and that's Cole Keith.
Yes.
That's the good point, though. The good point is you're not spending the money on anybody else. So you're right. When you've got players like Parker Meadows and Kerry Carpenter and Spencer Torkelson and Cole Keith and Zach McKinstry to a certain extent, although he's 30 years old, Dylan Dingler, they're not going to count a lot of money against your salary structure. You can afford to go get a guy like Tarek Skubal, give him that money without crippling your budget. That's the argument.
100%.
Okay? The argument for me is not, hey, he likes it here, he wants to be here, all that other stuff. I've seen plenty of athletes who wanted to be here and the town wanted him gone. So I don't care about that. I care about production, but I worry about long term. 10 years, $400 million, you better flip and win. Okay? And we say that now, not knowing what we're going to get in a couple of years. Doesn't take many guys. Kerry Carpenter hurt. Riley Green hurt. Torkelson with a down year. Suddenly you got, Steve Carlton in 1972 won 25 of his teams, 53, 54 games. Won the Cy Young. One guy. Mm-hmm. You've got to have more than that.
Yeah, I'm sitting here looking at the chat right now, and it's a lot of chatter on both sides. Now, Cartier believes Shep is being SOL, but the Tigers version. But then you got some other people who believe differently. They think crazy clown. He says the Miggy contract dragged this team down for years, and he also said the Prince Fielder contract didn't deliver us anything. And so you got people on both sides of it. Some who believe you got to get this man the money because of the impact culturally, the impact on the field, his ability to go out there and run it up one or two times in a playoff series, as well as that he's going to preserve your bullpen. You know that he's going to go out there, and if you wanted to, you can extend those innings. And I do believe that matters because they have other games where A.J. Hinch has to rely on things like pitching chaos. Mm-hmm. He has, and I get it. You're saying you'd rather bring in a couple
I don't know if he preserves your bullpen. You're not letting him go. He threw 105 pitches last night. They took him out with two men on and 2 men out. Okay, I guess to a certain extent, he's throwing deeper than a lot of other pitchers. I look at the highest paid pitchers. Maybe this is the wrong way to look at it, so I'm open to it. I look at Zach Wheeler makes $42 million. Jacob deGrom makes $40 million. Garrett Cole makes $36 million. Corbin, stop me when you've got the World Series champion, will you, please? Corbin Burns makes $31 million and hasn't pitched. Okay, Tyler Glasnow's got $30 million. Shohei Ohtani makes $28 million. Is he a pitcher?
Glasnow technically won it last year with the Dodgers.
Yeah, was hurt, but okay,
technically.
Yep. Carlos Rodon makes $28 million. Blake Snell makes $27 million.
He won one with the Dodgers.
Okay. Sonny Gray makes $25 million with the Cardinals.
He didn't cash.
Jack Flaherty won one with the Dodgers, $25 million. Okay. If I'm Tarek Skubal, I'm making $10 million, and Jack Flaherty, who's got an ERA close to 5 and is 4 up, 9 down, whatever he is, and has a 1.2 WHIP, and he's making more than twice me, I'm pissed, right? But Scott Boras is going to get his guy his. I'm talking about it from a responsible standpoint of where this team's going. If you said to me today, $40 million for Tarek Skubal over the next 5 years, like that, the 10-year thing scares the hell out of me.
And I think it should. But I want to ask you a question about the 10 years. Do you really think the Tigers can have 10 years of sustained success where even in the back end, wouldn't most likely they be bottoming out anyway?
Says who? Why would they bottom out after 10 years? Why? Is it 8 years?
It's
Is it 7 years?
hard to sustain success over a 10-year period where you are.
Tampa's been able to do it.
Cleveland's got some really smart people in there.
Wait a minute.
Tampa
Really
and
smart
Cleveland
people.
ain't won nothing.
You hired guys who were supposed to be really smart. We're giving these guys all this credit. What happens is we think there's a window. Let's be honest here.
There's
okay?
a 2-year window.
And I don't believe windows. I don't believe in them, okay? Because I think time and time again it's been proven incorrect. We feel like, we've got to win right now, and if we don't win right now, we're going to miss our opportunity. If you've got a really good front office, St. Louis, Tampa, I'm talking about the past, okay? Even to a certain extent, the current. We think New York wins based on money. When Brian Cashman's a good general manager, it helps to have the budget, right? I get all that. And St. Louis has had a big budget. He's supposed to be, Scott Harris was brought here to be the smart guy. We're going to give credit to all these other front offices and say, well, they've got really good front offices. That's why they're in Tampa and Cleveland. Why can't Detroit be that?
There's no reason why they can't be. I just don't think we've seen the sustained success to stamp of approval that the Tampas have, the Cardinals have, who have sustained the success for 10 years. We've only seen 2 years of success, a year and a half of success, honestly, where the sample size just isn't big enough for me to stamp, like, all right, every move that Scott Harris is going to make is going to work. And I have an unwavered amount of confidence in him, like I do with Brad Holmes.
Yeah.
Brad Holmes has built that. Scott Harris is getting there, but I can't stamp that right now.
I get it. Although you're the one who brought up McGonigal and Max Clark.
Fair.
You didn't say Bryce Rayner, but those are the guys you're thinking of.
Yes.
They're attached to this guy who you are willing to say that's the future. They're going to be fine, and yet on the other hand, you're going to say it's a 10-year window.
But Shep,
it's got to be one or the other.
Shep, at the same time, you have to be able to take risks because the Moneyball strategy really just has not worked historically.
It's not a Moneyball.
You don't think this is a Moneyball type strategy, your approach?
Nope, I don't. I don't think they're signing Dave Justice, at the end of his career. I don't think they're trying to move guys.
That type of move either.
Now, Shep, what do you say to the people in the chat like Blake? I don't know if you've seen it, but he's turned into your nemesis in the chat now. He is just going and going and going. And he says this in all caps. So I got to do it some justice. Pay the man or someone else will. He's wondering if there is no cap, why should we worry? Now, you've been around sports for some time. You've seen how this worked, especially with the Tigers. He's wondering if there is no cap, why does it matter?
Well, again, there is you get taxed on it at the end. Ask the Dodgers about a tax. Ask the Red Sox about a tax. So let's not get too caught up in, there is no cap. I'm talking about responsible spending here, Blake. It's not that I don't like Tarek Skubal. It's not that I don't believe in Tarek Skubal. It's not that I don't think he's the best pitcher in baseball. I worry the hell out of giving somebody a 10-year deal at the age of 29.
You literally just said you would give him a 5-year deal at the same price point.
Yeah,
that's right.
Would you give him which is extremely unrealistic because he's going to sign for 8 or 10 years.
He's going to. I mean, that's what Garrett Cole did. I mean, he's going to get the $400 million.
Would you give him $400 million over 6 years?
Oh.
To make sure that you can ensure every ounce of good baseball out of him?
That is really steep.
Yeah.
I would have to give that a long thought. Probably not. From a financial standpoint, I probably would not.
It definitely seems irresponsible. 100%.
I mean, what do you guys think of Randall Smalls in the chat? We know that he's one of the biggest Tigers fans out there. He says he believes Skubal doesn't want to stay in Detroit. He believes that the Tigers took the chance to draft him while hurt. Dodgers and Yankees can spend the $600 million. Tigers max is probably $450.
$600 million.
$500. He said $600. Look at Shep's face.
$600 million?
We're not there yet.
$600 million. I mean, look at Shep's face. It's $600 million.
It's not Juan Soto. It's not Shohei Ohtani.
That's not.
But it's more than. Let me ask you a quick question. Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
Yeah.
You think he's a good player?
Yeah.
He's a really good player? I think he's a really good player. You're going to give Tarek Skubal more than Vladimir Guerrero Jr. That's what you're talking about. You are. That's what you're suggesting.
You put it that way, that's why.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's going to make more per year than Aaron Judge. So you said you're not sold yet on on Scott Harris. It's only a year and a half. You're sold on Tarek Skubal for a year and a half, but you're not sold on the front office in a year and a half. Aaron Judge makes $40 million. Tarek Skubal is going to make more than that in all likelihood. I'm not asking you which one's deserving or not. I'm playing. I'm the everyday guy. Yeah, I'm probably that's the going rate. Pitchers, that's tough for me to swallow.
Now, Night Owl in the chat, Night Owl 1978, and thank you, chat family, for you guys getting those comments in. Blake, he just continues to hammer the chat, but he's saying letting homegrown generational talent just leave doesn't seem like a good strategy to me. But you're not saying just let them leave. You have a price point you signed up for, and you also believe you got to get something.
Right, absolutely not. I hope that didn't come across that way. I don't care if they're homegrown, to be honest with you.
Doesn't matter at all.
I know it's a big deal. Okay, when you celebrated in 2004, how many Pistons were homegrown?
Yeah. Facts.
Was Ben Wallace homegrown?
No.
Was Chauncey Billups homegrown?
No.
Was Richard Hamilton homegrown? Was Rasheed Wallace homegrown?
No.
Tayshaun Prince, and that's it, pretty much, right? Carlos Williamson won homegrown. I mean, come on. Let's stop that. Jared Goff wins you a Super Bowl this year. Are you going to go, damn it, we didn't draft him? I don't like it.
Hey, Shep,
stop it.
Shep, check this out. Lindsey was homegrown, and we got rid of him twice.
That's the
Even
thing.
the year they won the championship,
someone will.
they
You're
still
right.
were like, hey, she... And then when they cut Lindsey, they went on ahead and brought him back. But you're right.
Yeah.
And we drafted Lindsey Hunter.
Yeah, I
Pistons
think a lot of it is, we have personal pride with certain things. You want to draft and develop. I'm with you on that. I love, like Riley Green, love him. Okay, really, I want all the homegrown guys to be successful. Period. But we all harken back to like 1984. Okay, Gibson, Trammell, Whitaker, Morris, Petrie, Parrish. That's awesome, right? Yeah. Guess what? Larry Herndon was important, not homegrown. Chet Lemon was important, not homegrown. Dave Bergman was important, not homegrown. There were a ton of guys. Darrell Evans, not homegrown. All right? Those guys were instrumental too. I don't have to be not all these guys had to play together at Erie and Toledo for me to love them and feel like they got to be part of it.
100%. And if you feel that way about Gleyber Torres, you're insane.
Yeah, right. He's been a really good player for this team. He's got 800 OPS. This team's top 6 in OPS.
Arguably his best year of his career.
Yeah, pretty close to it. He's at higher OPS. It depends on what stat you look at, but he's been outstanding for this team. And I was wrong about Gleyber Torres. I didn't want him.
Yeah.
But he's been really, really good. Do I hold it against him that he's not the second baseman because he paid his dues through Erie or West Michigan? Hell no.
Hey, Shep. They start off the show like, oh, we're just not talking sports. Then you talk sports and you got them mad. Let's go.
I do believe, though, to win a World Series, you need the caliber of starting pitcher that Tarek Skubal is.
Yes.
I think you have seen starting pitchers be the catalyst on World Series teams plenty of times in the past. The one that I reference the most is the Madison Bumgarner years and the way that he was able to pitch in every facet, multiple games, coming out of the bullpen, and he really secured that win for the Giants. And I see Tarek Skubal as something extremely similar, and when you put that guy in that type of environment, the competitor that he is, I truly believe he's going to do that type of thing. And I think that is what you're paying for, and that's what the Yankees and Dodgers, if they are willing to go above the pay that the Tigers will, that they will be getting, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, they're all competitors. So that's a given with Tarek Skubal. That's a given. And, yes, those teams are going to be in the market for his services. They'd be stupid not to be unless Detroit locks him up prior to.
Which will not happen.
Which
Boris will
it's
make
too
sure
late
it does
now.
not.
Well, no, you could do it in the offseason. He's got another year of arbitration eligibility.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
But at this point, why would I want to go to market now?
Yeah,
like I'm gonna
that's
get the
my
best
point.
price.
I don't believe Skubal wouldn't test the market just to raise his price point.
But you said earlier that you think he wants to be here. Then why would he test the market if he wants to be here?
Because that's just good business.
Exactly. And is it not good business?
You can want to be here, like Scherzer wanted to be here, but they weren't willing to pay the bread. It's just how it is.
Yeah. Well, they were willing to pay not enough.
Not enough bread.
Yeah.
Shep, now I'm interested. What do you think is a fair deal for Skubal?
For Skubal, that's a really good question. So personally, he would never go for it, but I would do a 6-year deal, $250 million.
Okay.
Okay, that's over $40 million a year. You're still getting him in his prime. That's a selfish deal on my part.
Yeah, very.
Me as the organization,
Very team friendly.
I can feel free to do that. Me as an organization, that is a selfish move. That is me looking out for me, not looking out for him. All right? I can't do, I don't, how many pitchers do I want at age 38 and 39? That's all. That's a lot. Look, guys are throwing a lot of pitches these days.
Yeah,
okay, and I know they're not going as deep as you want them to. I'm all for drafting and development, folks. You got to be careful with it, because when they went to the World Series in 2006, Pudge Rodriguez, was he homegrown?
No.
Okay. Was Placido Polanco?
No.
Was Carlos Guillen?
No.
Was Craig Monroe? The answer to that is no. Was Maglio Ordonez?
No.
Was Marcus Thames?
No.
Okay. It gets a little much for me when we hold on to certain things. Bonderman was, nobody liked him. Verlander was, people loved him. Nate Robertson was, actually he wasn't. He wasn't homegrown either. Zach Minor, he wasn't. People didn't like him. Kenny Rogers was the best pitcher that year.
Yep.
He wasn't homegrown.
100%.
So I can make way with guys who are not coming up through the system. I would prefer to have their prime years and get them, from AA to AAA to the big leagues. But if I got to say goodbye to them, I got to say goodbye to them, because I got to do what's right for the organization long term.
Yes.
Is signing a guy at age 29, 30. He'll be 30 next year, won't he? Is he be 30 next year, guys?
29, I think.
29?
I believe he's 28 right now.
Okay, if he's 28, he'll be 29 next year. You sign him to that 10-year contract. And I'm assuming, that maybe that's an unfair assumption. I'm assuming it's going to be a 10-year deal.
Minimum's 8.
Yeah.
Feels like.
Yeah. If you're the agent, that's what you're asking for,
yes.
Right? Without question. Quick timeout. Dr. Pierce.
DeGrom is 37.
What's that?
DeGrom is 37 and still pitching at an elite level, and I think it is important to bring up, because I do think the sustainability is important for pitchers these days, but he also did have a major arm injury.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's pitching elite level this year.
Yes.
The previous 2 years, Texas is kicking themselves in their own slats, going, why the hell did we sign this guy?
Yes, 100%.
Dr. Pierce.
Let me tell you about Dr. Pierce, because if there's someone who knows about arm injuries and other injuries, it is Dr. Pierce. Attention sports fans, don't miss out on the expert sports injury insights with Dr. Jeff Pierce, Michigan Sports and Spine. Join Dr. Pierce every Tuesday during Big D Energy and every Thursday during the Braylon Show with Shep, where we offer top-notch injury advice. Trust the guy that DMAC trusts. Dr. Jeff Pierce is here to keep you in the game and performing at your best. For more information, visit MichiganSportsAndSpine.com, or you can hit the QR code and call 248-426-9944.
And with Lions in training season, I know you're thinking about your bets. What app to use, man? I got to tell you about Caesar Sportsbook. If you make a bet on there, your first bet up to $1,000, you'll get the money back if it doesn't hit. I think it's going to hit, but just in case it doesn't, you can get it back, man. Scan the QR code or enter the code Woodward1000, and your first bet doesn't hit, you win up to $1,000 right back. Minimum bet has to be at least $20, man. So download that Caesar Sportsbook app right now. It is the official sportsbook of Woodward Sports. Use the code Woodward1000 or scan that QR code on the screen. You can get your first bet back up to $1,000. Good luck.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
Hey, it's Stick from Woodward Sports. I'm out here at the Feldman shop, of course, because they are #1 people. And the Ineos Grenadier, that's the new car that they got. But I got my man here, the Sun God. I'm not lying. His name is Amon-Ra.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He sold me a car.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's up? Come see us out here, baby. We in Waterford. We got the pre-owns all day. We got the Grenadiers, and we got new Chevys all day. Whatever you need, we got you.
Yeah, and I went with this one. I like it. 2023 Durango. It's used. Only got like 30,000 miles on it. And this guy, man, I was like, listen, this is my price. You either make it happen or I'm out of here.
Easy.
You know what he did? Went to his boss. He's like, I'm making this happen for this guy. Came back, threw the contract on the table. Nom in the whip.
Yes, sir. Sign, drive, 0 down, easy money all day.
All right, Feldman, what's the address here, do you know?
5300 Highland Road, Waterford, Michigan, 48327. Open until 6 o'clock every weekday except 9 o'clock on Mondays and Thursdays. It's 4 o'clock on Saturdays. Only day we're not here for you is Sunday. Every other day we're here to get it done, baby.
And his legit name is Amon-Ra. I'm not lying. It was
sir.
destined. It was meant to be. Woodward Sports found this guy. So
Exactly.
thank you very much, man. Enjoying the car, and the kid likes it too. It's nice and safe.
Summer's heating up, and Feldman's clearing space for the incoming new models. That means massive markdowns during Feldman's Hot Summer Sale. Get a 2025 Silverado for just $189 a month, or this 2026 Equinox for just $209 a month. Inventory's moving fast, and when it's gone, it's gone. So don't sweat the search. Just get to Feldman. More locations, more inventory, more ways to save. The Hot Summer Sale is on at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
Let me tell you about Planet Fitness, where you can go and you can get work this summer for free. If you are a teen from 14 to 19, work out for free all summer long, June 1st to August 31st. The high school summer pass, it is great. I used it when I was in high school to make sure I stayed in shape for hockey. You can do it as well for any sports or fitness needs that you want. You can also get the PF Black Card and have unlimited entries to all the Planet Fitnesses around the world and Metro Detroit area. There are as many as you could count in forever. So make sure you check out Planet Fitness, the cleanest and best gym in the game.
We back.
All right, second hour of the program. Braylon Edwards will be back tomorrow. The Braylon Edwards Show, Monday through Friday, 2 till 4 here on Woodward Sports. And
I can
please,
put this magazine above my face so you think I'm Braylon Edwards.
it's going to take a lot more than that, but I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Come again.
You got to stand on your chair, too.
Right.
Yeah. I go up to about Braylon's abs. He's so tall.
Yeah, his arm, I think his arms are thicker than all of our thighs.
Yeah.
It's thicker than my head.
But it was great to see Braylon yesterday. It's funny. I saw a couple of guys at the game, at the Amps game, and they're looking at me, and then they're looking down, and they're looking at me, and then they're looking down. And I'm thinking either A, they have gas, or they want to ask me a question. So I went up to them, and they said, "Hey, man, aren't you working with Braylon?" And they show the picture that went out on Woodward Sports.
Oh,
Braylon
gotcha.
and I on the show. And I said, "I think you got the answer right there." "Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
I'm excited, you know." And they said, "Yeah, where's Braylon at?" I said, I'm sorry, I don't know. I mean, the smart ass in me want to say it's not my turn to watch him, but I said, I don't know. And I said, but I know he's coming. I know he's coming to the game. So they said, "I'll tell you what, I'll call him." I said, "Yeah, it's pretty loud. I don't know if you're going to be able to hear it." The one guy says, "Well, I'm good friends with his dad." I said, "Yeah, I love Stan. I don't know if he's going to be able to hear you." So the guy does it. He calls, and you know, at those games, it's bum, bum, bum.
Yeah.
Right? It's super loud, the music. I had a headache, okay, by the end of that thing. I mean, the guy screaming on the microphone, telling me to stand up and cheer and all that other stuff. Right? And he's got Stan on speaker on his phone.
Wow.
Trying to talk to him. And I'm saying to the guy, it's okay. Don't worry about it. We'll find Braylon. It's going to be all right.
Right. It's
Hey,
not that important.
Stan, it's so-and-so. Where's Braylon at? I can't hear Stan.
These
There's
are
no
two
way this
grown
guy...
men.
Huh?
How are you supposed to tell him where his grown son is at? Not his child.
I have no idea. I don't know what the hell's going on.
What was he smoking?
But yeah, it was pretty funny. It was pretty funny. I did DVR the remainder of the Open Championship with Scotty Scheffler.
Oh, it was great.
How good he was. He's simply amazing. I think the most amazing. So there's two statistics, and then we'll get into football here. The fact that Scotty Scheffler and Tiger Woods, and I think it's an unfair comparison. It's ridiculous to compare Scotty Scheffler to Tiger Woods right now. That they won, the difference between their first and their fourth major was 1,197 days.
Same exact time. That's eerie.
But here's the other eerie part. Their first major for both was the Masters.
Oh, yeah.
Their fourth major for both was the Open.
US. Huh?
Oh, damn.
Wild.
Scotty's got, that's his third. Oh, no, you're right. He is four altogether.
Yeah,
you're right.
four.
He
Yeah.
needs the other, the fourth leg.
I mean, you're talking about names, and you're talking about some of the all-time greats. I think we rush people too quickly to try and compare them and make them the next great. I mean, I think of Harold Miner. Oh, baby Jordan. What? Did anybody watch him at Florida State? He's not that good, right? He's not Michael Jordan. We want to find the next Jordan.
Yep.
We want to find the next Joe Montana. Now Tom Brady.
I think Cooper Flagg's a great example.
Yeah. We want to find the next great, instead of just letting these guys kind of develop under their own skin, if you will. So I thought it was really good theater what Scotty Scheffler was able to do, and I think he's a really humble champion, and I like him a lot. I think he's got a lot of things in perspective. The perspective of David Montgomery and the Lions is an interesting one, and I love it. Like, he's telling people, it's almost as if people have forgotten David Montgomery's part of the offense.
Literally.
When I say Lions offense, who's the first name that comes to mind?
Jared Goff.
Jared Goff?
Yeah. Amon-Ra, Panay.
Okay.
Yeah. Jared Goff, Amon-Ra.
Jahmyr Gibbs.
Okay.
Yeah.
How much is that as the quarterback, or or do you, if it's just the biggest name? Because I think Penei Sewell right away, because I think he's the best player on the team. Him and Aiden Hutchinson. But I think Penei Sewell.
Yeah.
You guys think Goff? I get. There's no wrong answer here. I'm just wondering.
I don't think Goff. I just think the fan base thinks.
What do you
Goff.
think?
I think it's Penei Sewell or Jahmyr Gibbs.
Okay.
I agree with that.
Okay.
Panay was my
I'm
first
thinking
choice.
Amon-Ra because that's my favorite Lion right now.
Yeah. Nobody thinking Hutch?
Well, it's offense.
Oh, offense. Yeah, you would think Goff.
Yeah, you would think Goff because of the quarterback position.
Of course.
I think so.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Not many people are thinking David Montgomery anymore.
No.
I was thinking David Montgomery a couple of years ago. I love him, man. I think
Yes.
he runs like a mother. I love everything about him.
So do
Okay. He did, once he went hurt, he did get a little overshadowed, and rightfully so. Jahmyr Gibbs, I think, is a top 3 running back in the National Football League. But he's come out, and David Montgomery has said, I'm tired of being close. This is the year of reckoning. In Brad Holmes, I trust. I think it's a year of reckoning for Brad Holmes. And I'll tell you why. With the injuries to Answerike, injuries to McNeil, and Davenport, Barnes, all these guys who, not that they're hurt, but they have had some rough times staying healthy. Instead of him going out and addressing with a maybe a little bit more familiar name, doesn't have to be a superstar. I wasn't expecting him to trade for Trey Hendrickson or Max Crosby or something like that. But instead of him addressing it in that regard, he has kind of pushed his chips into the middle of the table with the guys he feel are almost obligated to. I think it's a year of reckoning for Brad Holmes. What's your guys' take on that?
Look, I when we were talking about this before the show a little bit and just where everybody's thoughts were, I'm telling you, man, that was what stood out most importantly to me. That this is a year of reckoning for Brad Holmes. For years, we've talked about what we want the Detroit Lions to do. We've talked about the edge problem. We've talked about other issues on this squad. We've talked about addressing certain position groups. And Brad Holmes has just continued to honestly march to the beat of his own drum. With success, with improvements every year.
Man, he's been awesome.
But
and
now-
by the way, when I say reckoning, I don't mean like if you don't get it done, you're fired. Hell no.
Okay, yeah, it will sound a little extreme.
Yeah, I should have defined that first.
Yeah.
I just think when I see that word, when I see David Montgomery saying it's the year of reckoning,
right?
I think it's a really important year for Brad Holmes for him to keep the trust of, not that you do it for the fan base, but to keep the trust of people because of his decisions to go with guys who have had speckled pasts from a health standpoint.
I think that's fair to say. You see him do it with the Marcus Davenports of the world. You even see it with his draft strategy. He grabs J-Mo, and J-Mo has worked out to his credit. But I think that maybe it's a year that if we don't get it done, he has to completely change how he goes about doing his business, going for guys that can be sustainable because availability is a skill. And availability is needed to win a Super Bowl. You saw it last year with the Philadelphia Eagles. They had 21 of 22 day one starters starting in the Super Bowl. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
And I think that that's only done with how you build this team. So, yes, I think that if we go through another injury-riddled year, I mean, you're already seeing it. Rakestraw went out of practice yesterday. Yeah. Anzalone has
and he's had some injuries histories, right?
Yep, Anzalone has his injury that he's dealing with. Decker's dealing with an injury. Like the injuries are already starting to pile up, and they might be minor, and they might only be things that are keeping him out of camp for a little while. But even then, when we're going through the ebbs and flows of a season, how many little injuries can we sustain? Can we have guys playing through? Because it does dip their production when they are playing hurt. And that's something that I think is something that we have to take a look at and think, does Brad Holmes have that eye for guys who are going to stay healthy? Or is he just drafting guys hoping that they're staying healthy?
Yeah, I don't think there's a football player on the planet who goes a full year without getting hurt.
No, it's impossible.
So, I mean, that is constant. And as you get older, it's going to be more challenging to overcome the injuries you suffered the year before. See Frank Ragnow. So I get all that.
Mm-hmm.
I think coaches, and I think Dan Campbell does a really good job of this, of making sure in order for my guy to be available for me on Sunday, he's going to miss some practice time this week. That's okay,
100%.
right? But I think when it comes to Brad Holmes, and I trust him implicitly, so don't take this out of context. I mean, you bring up Jamison Williams. Let's use Jahmyr Gibbs. You love Jahmyr Gibbs, but you didn't want him opening day. You didn't want him on draft night. Nobody did. Everybody wanted something else addressed. So he had, and I didn't either. Just so we're clear, I'm not pointing just to you.
I did like the pick.
I don't think anybody said, that's it. Awesome. Way to go. I don't know one person who said that, okay? I will say this. He has proven with his scouts that they know what the hell they're doing. So I'm more apt to give him, that leeway when it comes to these players. But I was surprised that he went with a guy like Davenport, a guy like Derek Barnes,
100%.
And some guys who have had that history. I hate to call players injury prone. It's not fair. But have had that history of injuries when you could have taken, maybe save that money and give it to Zadarius Smith or get closer with Zadarius Smith because he has been proven to be a little bit healthier in his career.
And that's what I was getting at earlier is that effectively Brad Holmes has put himself in a position where we do just say, trust in Brad, even if it goes against what we generally or technically would want to see the team do, because he's had that success, which is why I do believe it is pivotal to say this is a year of reckoning for Brad Holmes. It has to work out because he's putting more eggs in the basket of the way he does things and less in the way we think. And some of that recipe has centered around players that you could probably get at a discount. But we know that when you look at their past in terms of availability, it's questionable. He's not signing players that we think are bad, but are they going to be there when it matters most? And that's where we saw them get snake bit last year, to the tune of going into the playoffs and then losing more players that day. Once your depth is already riddled, you want to know that at least the players you're hoping to depend on that you don't think have that injury history, what if they do get injury?
Yeah.
But then everybody else you brought in is already sitting on the bench because you're trying to take these risks. It's worked till now. So we all say trust in Brad, but this is going to be a big litmus test for him.
Just because you question a manager, a coach, a general manager, a team president doesn't mean that you don't trust them and doesn't mean that you don't can have a disagreement with them. Like, I trust A.J. Hinch implicitly. Anybody else? Of course,
Everyone.
right?
Definitely.
He's going to be the manager of the year, and rightfully 100%. So. He's one of the best technicians in all of baseball. But it's clear, okay? Not just because you're watching it, but how many people were pissed off about him pulling Tarek Skubal last night with 2 outs?
Yeah,
I was.
Yeah, in the seventh.
I didn't get it.
Yeah, understood, right? So a lot of people didn't get it. I understand that. My immediate thought is I turn fandom for a moment and think, who's better than him?
Yeah.
Who's better than him coming in this situation? You're going to bring in another lefty and Tyler Holton?
Right.
And don't give me this, well, he throws stuff in the dirt. Tarek Skubal threw a couple in the dirt, too, that were blocked by Dylan Dingler. You can blame it on Dylan Dingler that he should have blocked it. That's up to you. That's fine. But the point is that you pulled a guy after 105 pitches and a guy who is just – he's the best option you have. If that were a World Series game, and I know it's not, you're leaving him in there.
Yes.
Okay? So it's okay to question a guy like A.J. Hinch, even though you believe in him. It's okay to question Brad Holmes a little bit in this guy.
I agree with you. I think that when you look at these Super Bowl teams that have won it in the recent history of the NFL, they have 2 very good edge rushers. We're talking in the upper 25%. Both of the edge rushers in most years are there. The one I think of the most dominant defense that has won the Super Bowl in the last 10 years is the Denver Broncos when they had Von Miller and DeMarcus Ware. I'm not saying that we need that, but I'm saying we need a elite enough group where they are constantly pressuring the quarterback, because that is the only way you beat the Mahomes of the world, the Allen of the world, and the Jacksons of the world. The only way you do so is by putting them in pressure situations where they are running for their life. They have to make off-platform throws. They have to make throws with guys in their face. And that is where you can beat those quarterbacks. Going into a shootout with those guys is honestly a death sentence. And that's why you saw the Eagles win last year, is because they were able to consistently put pressure on Mahomes and make him uncomfortable.
Yeah, a lot of that, I like the pressure up in the middle. I mean, I think you cause more problems for quarterbacks with pressure in their face. So I don't think – I'm in the minority here. I don't think you need 2 elite pass rushers. I don't know many teams in the National Football League right now that have 2 elite pass rushers. But you have to have 2 healthy, productive pass rushers, okay? That's what I want.
That's a better way to put it.
If Aiden Hutchinson you expect him to get 17.5 like Trey Hendrickson a year ago? Probably not. If he got you 14 sacks and opposite him got you 7.5, I think you'd feel
I'd take
okay.
that all day.
Sure you would. Right.
100%.
But I wouldn't say the 7.5 guy is elite.
No.
So I'm not trying to mince words here. I'm just saying you get those 2, then you're going to have some guys who spell them once in a while, get 1 or 2, sprinkle some love, and you get the guys in the middle who are pressuring. They're going to help you. They're actually going to funnel some of those to the guys off the edge and maybe some linebackers on a blitz or whatever the case may be, right? So I don't know. It's a good question. How many teams in the National Football League right now have elite pass rushers?
Not a lot.
I would say the Steelers with Highsmith and T.J. Watt.
Okay.
I would say both of them are elite.
Yeah, all right. We love T.J. Watt. I think that's a really good answer. I don't know if Highsmith's elite, but he's pretty damn good. Okay.
Elite is probably not the right word.
Okay.
I think that your qualifying factors of 7.5 sacks or above is where you need to be for a Super Bowl contender. You need to be able to put constant pressure on the quarterback. And I think in a dream scenario is they're putting up 9.5, which I believe Highsmith put up last year.
That's pretty damn good.
Yeah, 9.5 and then 14 plus is an elite edge combo. We'll put it as a combo, elite edge combo.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
I don't know. I don't think there's a lot of other ones around the league. I certainly can't think of it off the top of my head. But, I mean, 49ers, they make do with Nick Bosa, and then their opposite usually puts up around 7.5 sacks.
Right.
And that keeps them competitive.
Yeah, and that's what I think we should be looking for.
And I think
okay with that.
Zadarius Smith is the perfect person to put there. I think that you can pencil in next year that he will be able to get 7.5 sacks, and you are looking at a Super Bowl caliber edge combo.
Absolutely. I assume he's keeping himself still in really good shape. I think he was really, really productive in Cleveland because he was helped out by Myles Garrett, no doubt.
Yep.
I would guess that Myles Garrett probably was helped out by him a little bit, and I think Aiden Hutchinson would be helped out by him too. But that he's not on this roster.
Do you know why? Do you wonder? I wonder why they haven't signed him.
I do wonder why. Yeah. My guess is, look, I'll call myself out here. If he's that valuable, and I would want him, but if he's that valuable, how come no one else has picked him up?
Yeah, and that's the second part of my question. Is like he's still just sitting at home with his girl.
He's an older pass rusher, though. I think that does play a factor into it. But, Shep, I wanted to ask you, like, how much credence do you give into Brad cares about his own guys too much? Because I said earlier in the day that, I feel like Zadarius Smith would still be on this team if Cleveland hadn't to put so many void years on his contract. They ended up saving about a good $6 to $7 million, and then you look up and Kirby Joseph's getting paid. Yeah. So, and when you look at his Brad Holmes strategy, he loves to pay his own guys. It's not like he hasn't shelled out money. It's just been for draft picks that he brought in that have been highly productive for the team. Yeah. But how much credence do you get?
Yeah, no, I think that's valid for sure. I don't think he pays him just because they're his guys. I think he pays Kirby Joseph because he's one of the best safeties in football.
Absolutely.
I think he's going to pay Brian Branch because he's one of the best safeties in football.
But you need money to do that. You gotta make cuts somewhere.
That's why
Alex Anzalone, the Zadarius Smith situation. There are certain things here that eventually you're going to have to start cutting corners somewhere.
Yeah, not everybody can get paid the max.
Yeah.
Or in the top 5 of their position. And perhaps that's the reason Brad Holmes hasn't signed Zadarius Smith yet, is because he's worried about some of the other guys that he either has to pay or is going to pay on his roster right now. If he wants to take care of his guys, I don't care, as long as those guys are productive. If he's taking care of Kirby Joseph and Brian Branch, and he's taking care of Jack Campbell and Aiden Hutchinson and Jahmyr Gibbs and Amon-Ra St. Brown and Penei Sewell, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Who else do you want instead of those guys?
Who are all young, by the way.
They're absolutely young,
better still.
Young, productive, know the system, good in the locker room, Dan Campbell type of guys. Give me the negative of signing any of those guys long term. I haven't even mentioned Sam Laporta.
Yeah.
You know, he signed Aleem McNeil. I was happy about that.
You didn't mention J-Mo either.
Yeah. I don't think he's signing guys because those are my guys and I'm covering my ass. Hell no. He's signing those guys because they're really good players. Mm-hmm. They're really productive players. Those are winning players. Those are the guys I want.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
Paying a guy who's going to force you 10 turnovers like Kirby Joseph is so valuable in a league where it's dominated by offense, and defenses rarely get them on punts. So I think getting interceptions and forcing turnovers is pivotal for defenses, and a guy like Kirby Joseph who can constantly contribute that, can't even put a price tag on.
Even if he's not giving me that many, because I can't expect that much.
You can't expect 10 every year.
If he gives me what Hunter Smith provides the Vikings, what Kyle Hamilton provides the Ravens, I'm all for it, man. I need some interceptions. You're not going 10, that's okay. Are you knocking guys across the middle? Are you covering different people? Are you understanding schemes? Are you getting home on a blitz? All those other things? Amen.
And you know what else? Then he's going to make people think twice. So even if the interceptions aren't there, if the red zone interceptions aren't there, do you think people want to test him? Aaron Rodgers tried that several years back, and the league tried it again. They ran it right back as if Kirby Joseph wasn't what he put on film. And what did he do? He went out there again and was a red zone ball hawk. Now I do wonder, what does this do for a quarterback when they get into that red zone and they have to think, Kirby Joseph is over there. We've tested this.
They have to
for 2
account
years.
for him. Yeah, they have to account for him. My experience with quarterbacks is they don't care. My experience is, I'm
keep
good.
feeding Kirby.
I'm really good too, and I'm going to beat you. And I'm going to trust my guy. I'm going to trust Justin Jefferson. I'm going to trust T.J. Hawkinson, who's ever matched up with him. You can get burned, and it's happened, obviously. Yeah. But most of those guys, with their mentality, I don't think they're walking up. I could be wrong here, but in quarterbacks I've talked to and players I've talked to, they go up to the line of scrimmage. They don't give a crap. They're going to account for them. Oh, my God, there's Troy Polamalu. There's Ed Reed. Absolutely. But does that mean, sorry, I can't throw there? Hell no. Yeah, right. Because guess what? Then you start counting out the guys that you got on your team. DJ Reed's pretty good, right? Brian Branch is pretty good, right?
Oh, yeah.
So is Kirby Joseph. Does that mean all I can do is throw a Terrion Arnold?
Yo, listen,
hell no.
I hope that's how they come in thinking, because Kirby Joseph has shown, if you do not respect the fact that he will take the ball away in the red zone, he will take it away in the red zone. That's why we've seen him get better year after year. Think about all the red zone interceptions he had, and if you just take away those, get it, we don't play the if game, but that's where he was lunching. So for me, if a team don't get smart about Mr. Kirby, I think that you're going to see him go out there and lunch again this year.
All right, quick thought, quick read from Massage and Lady Jane's coming up, and then when we come back, the coordinators for the Detroit Lions are, that's been the theme, but Dan Campbell came out and said something really interesting yesterday. We'll get to that on the other side here on Woodward Sports and the Braylon Edwards Show.
Hey, talk to me, Ricky B.
Looking to upgrade your relaxation game? Check out Massage Chair House in Bloomfield Hills, the largest massage chair showroom in the Midwest, with the top brands of massage chairs like Infinity and Osaki. Located near the corner of Woodward and Long Lake Road, experience luxury comfort with Dr. Eric Duncan. He's the wellness doc, creator of the top YouTube massage chair review channel. Book a visit right now at massagechairhouse.com or scan the QR code. Massage Chair House, your ticket to the ultimate recovery and relaxation.
Hey, Shep, you mind telling people about Lady Jane's?
We were just talking about Eugenio Suarez. I'll guarantee you. And I see the TVs here throughout the entire shop here at Lady Jane's. So they're talking about Eugenio Suarez, too. It's a good discussion. Justin just said he's the perfect guy you need, right? In this lineup. He had 2 more bombs yesterday. You're not going to bomb if you come into Lady Jane's. I promise you that, man. You're going to come in. It's honest. It's simple. It's easy. It's friendly. It's affordable. How many other places can you go, whether it's a haircut or anything else, and have all that combined into one? You maybe be able to count them on one hand, all right? So they like uncomplicated. Lady Jane's likes uncomplicated. You like uncomplicated. Your time is valuable. They understand that. So they get you in the chair. All you got to do is you walk in, you sign in. Before you know it, you're looking like Kool-Aid and you're walking out of this place. And you are loving life. You might get a whistle. You might get a look. Something that you haven't had in a long time. See, KG's used to that. You're not. Now you will be if you go to Lady Jane's. Lady Jane's open 10 till 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It is wicked awesome.
Why do we fight? We fight to protect the innocent, to hold the powerful accountable, to bring the oppressors to justice. Why do we fight? We fight to secure and preserve our civil liberties, to get each and every one of our clients the justice they deserve, and to make the lives of real people just like you whole again. ThenFights.com.
Head to WoodwardSports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward Sports gear. WoodwardSports.com can get the whole team outfitted. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. Shop online at WoodwardSports.com.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
Feldman Chevrolet, it is Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer with 5 locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing. And this month's special, you guys see it right there on the screen. It includes a 2025 Silverado 1500 Crew, lease it for $149 a month, and a 2026 Equinox LT, lease it for $209 per month. Going ahead and support the good people down at Feldman Automotive. And now, you guys already know you also got to follow us on socials.
Yeah, man. Make sure you stay connected to Woodward Sports on all social platforms. Follow us on Facebook, X, Instagram, along with YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, and to stay up to date with the latest sports news, live updates, and that behind-the-scenes action. I promise I talk for a living. Don't miss out. Hit that follow button now and be a part of Detroit's #1 digital sports network. That's at Woodward Sports on all social platforms, at Woodward Sports everywhere.
That's right.
Hey, you look good, though. I mean, sometimes we all stumble over our words once in a while.
I didn't think I was going to make it through that one, Shep. I didn't think you were going to make it through.
I knew you would. I knew you would. Talk a lot about the Lions and the narrative and the constant conversation nationally. I don't think it's as much locally. Maybe I'm wrong there.
No,
it's about the coordinators. Yeah. It's always kind of, I kind of laugh at it when people go, "Oh, you can't win with 2 new coordinators." Oh, Philadelphia didn't win with 2 new coordinators last year? Hell yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Okay. And won the Super Bowl for it. I think you can have success. And players got to make plays. You know, we can break down all that other stuff that people want. But Dan Campbell had a really good answer to this the other day when people were asking about it. He said, first of all, it doesn't matter what I say. That's already a narrative. So I'm not going to change that. None of us will. It's a great point. It's going to be constant, man. It is going to be constant. He says, we'll be good. He's looking at the offensive line. Kelvin Sheppard's the new DC. John Morton's the new OC. He's that quote right there, will be good. He's talking about the offensive line. But from the coordinator standpoint, the constant discussion on this, it's going to be all year long. Okay? It may not be from a local standpoint all year long, but they're going to play a lot of nationally televised games. If you're watching it, and maybe you're going to be at Ford Field, but if you're watching it, that's what you're going to hear. It's going to be constant about the coordinators.
No. There's no doubt about that. And just wait until there is any size miscue by either of them. it will be blown out of proportion like it's Hiroshima.
Yeah.
And that is absolutely absurd. You got to give them the chance. Do you remember last year that people were questioning this offense because Ben Johnson started the year struggling a little bit, where the offense wasn't clicking as much as they were the year before?
I don't recall that that narrative.
Oh, it was
maybe
big.
I just tuned it out because I'd love to know. First of all, I'd love to know,
especially after the Tampa loss.
Yeah. I was going to say, how quickly do you want to jump on it? Okay, I mean, are you going to tell me the first game, every team? Cincinnati's offense was damn good. When all is said and done, they didn't make the playoffs. Obviously, their offense was really damn good, wasn't it?
Yeah, it wasn't.
Do you remember their first game against New England? How awful was that?
They were
okay.
Terrible, completely out of tune.
Yeah. So I guess what I would like. Detroit opened up last year with the Rams, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Didn't they score like 26, 27 points?
31.
31. Okay. All right. I thought it was about. So if it's 31 points, what's the problem? Oh, you're going to look at game 2? Is that what we're doing against Tampa?
Yes.
So we're forgetting game 1 and we're focusing on game 2? Okay. I got you. I don't know. I thought they scored 26. Let me see here. Yeah, it was 26-20.
I'm thinking about the playoff game.
Oh, no, I was talking about the regular
Yeah, I know.
season.
I switched them.
Yeah, okay. And then they lost 20-16, and then they won 20-13. Okay, I get it. All right.
That's when the narrative started to catch a little speed.
Before they pumped in 42 on Seattle.
Yes, and then it went away.
Yeah, gotcha.
I think you got to give it till. I think Game 4 is a little too early still.
Yeah.
I think Game 6 is maybe when you can let that narrative creep in a little bit, because now you're almost to the halfway point. But you've seen how teams can turn around in the second half of the season in the NFL. You see it every year.
Absolutely.
Some team comes from the bottom of the standings all the way to the top in the second half. They catch fire. So I really don't think if they come out of the gate a little squirrely, a little off, that there should be any narrative that is pushed about the coordinators, because they're still. You saw it with Aaron Glenn too.
Sure. Oh my God. Well, we saw it the year before with Aaron Glenn. People wanted him fired.
They wanted him fired with no talent.
I hesitate to put numbers on things or timelines, but at some point, there is something that's going to be. It's worth trying to figure out who the team is. Oftentimes, we're wrong about that. It's just the nature of sports. Last year, we were all wrong about the Tigers. We had a decision on who they were. We had defined them, who they were. We were wrong about it. Earlier this year, there was a definition in Boston about Rafael Devers, because my wife's family's from there. How much he struggled. Turned out that he was okay. There was a decision about Riley Green. He needed to go down to the minors. It turned out to be wrong. Okay,
way wrong.
So things like this are happening. I don't know if it's 4 games, 5 games, 6 games. I think a lot of it is based on what you're watching and how it's trending. If they score 20 points in week 1, end up scoring 24 in week 2, their offense looks good, but they miss an opportunity here, an unfortunate turnovers there, then I'm going to look at things a little differently. So I don't know the number, but I believe in the people who are performing the acts of the offense. I believe in Jahmyr Gibbs and Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jared Goff and Jamison Williams to a certain extent, Sam Laporta, and most of the other guys on that offense. I don't know what they got in the middle of their offensive line. Nobody does yet. All right? A little worried about that, not going to lie. But overall, I feel pretty damn good about the talent that they have on that side of the football.
They are still one of the most talented offenses in the entire National Football League. And I think that a lot of people just speed past that to talk about the coordinators.
Yeah.
And they don't want to talk about the returning production. Yes, Frank, you're right. There are some cause for concerns with the interior offensive line. And that is okay. That is a narrative that should be talked about, because there is no reason to show that that is going to be a certain yes, that they are going to be a top 5 unit like they have been the last 3 years.
Yeah, it's a fact. Graham Glasgow was okay last year. It wasn't great. He's got another year. You're hoping he's better. Tate Ratledge never played center. Look, they drafted him for a reason that high. They know he's athletic. How fluid is he? How does his feet work? How does he pass off one blocker to the next? How does he get to the next level? Can he call out the blocking schemes? All those things need to be decided. But if you're not concerned, then maybe you're living in a Pollyannish life, because I would definitely be concerned about that. And then the fact that Christian Mahogany, who played 73 snaps last year, right, is taking the place of a guy who played over 1,000 snaps. That's a massive difference, right? A guy who doesn't have a huge resume. He may be a beast. He may look good. I hope he's going to be good. I don't know that he is. But Dan Campbell said this about the coordinators. He said, look, when asked about those who think the Lions may take a step back due to their new coordinators, this is from the Detroit News. He says, if you're asking me personally, yeah, I don't think it's what it's played out to be. I've said this before. It's hurt to lose those two guys that have been here from the beginning and who I have a lot of trust and faith in. There's a lot of communication that goes on that's not even said. A look here, there, a nod, some body demeanor. But it's just a little bit of what we have to gain together between myself, Johnny Morton, and Calvin Sheppard. He used the word Shep, but that's not me. But that takes a minute, and it's going to take some time, but it's going to come. So that's really good stuff. And I love the fact that he addressed it that way. The problem with that is that people are going to read right past that.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're reading right past it, and it's going to be a constant theme.
But, Shep, they've been reading right past even national media who stepped to the podium to say, this is an offense that is Dan Campbell's. It is not Ben Johnson's. We don't take away what Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn bought, but there was a lot of the foundation in the table setting that was Dan Campbell's from prior times with Bill Parcells and Sean Payton with the Dolphins and with the Saints. They just
why do you
think
they brush past Dan Campbell? Tell me why.
I feel like they want so badly for their initial reaction to be right. I feel like people, even though they have to tip the cap of respect, I don't think that people have quite, like the national narrative, have quite come to the place that we all know about Dan Campbell, and it's easy for them to revert back to that when they think the situation is giving. I think that this is a year where Dan Campbell, we talk about what Brad Holmes is, in terms of a year of reckoning, I think this is a year where Dan Campbell is going to stand out as a head coach.
Why do you think they bring that up all the time?
I think that they
or don't give him enough credit for it being his offense.
I think they're easy to forget the struggles that he had in year one with his OCs and where he took over the play calling.
Anthony Lynn, yeah.
Yep, and they figured out how this offense was going to be successful and looked a hell of a lot better when he started calling the plays. And Ben Johnson only got that moniker to start the next season. So I think that there is a disbelief because he never technically had an offensive coordinator job, that he's not a play caller and can't install an offense.
I think that's good. I think it has to do with his opening press conference.
Yeah.
And I think people view him as an ex-player and a tight end and the kneecap stuff and the cute little sayings and all this other stuff, and they view him as more of a director of the symphony rather than somebody who actually plays an instrument in it.
Yeah. That's a bar.
And I don't think that's fair at all.
No,
because I think he's a really, really smart and good coach. Like coaching, I've never been on headset. I've talked to head coaches plenty, but I've never been on headset. Coaching is so much more than just talking to us. It's part of it, but people act like, okay, you're not drawing up any plays. He's involved in all that stuff.
Yeah.
All right? He manages it all. He may not come up with every single game plan, but he's part of every single game plan that team gets ready for. And too many of us, I'll include myself, gloss over it like Dan Campbell's just putting on a headset and he's listening to what Kelvin Sheppard's defense is this year, and he's going to say, all right, go get him, guys. And it's one big, I'm going to hand out the game ball at the end of the damn show. Right. I mean, give me a break, man. He signed the football and he forgot to give it to Jared Goff and went 18 for 18. That's ridiculous. That's not what it is, right?
No.
He's involved in all that stuff.
Talk to him, Shep.
And he's got really good
He's
players.
A mascot. They think he's a mascot.
Yeah.
Exactly. No, because I've heard that. And that's where I think it's ultimately disrespectful to a Dan Campbell and to all the people he identifies. Can you imagine if you're the next up and they're saying you're picked by a mascot? No, Dan Campbell has meticulously gone and handled everything from instilling the plays, getting even John Morton in the beginning to lay a foundation, and then bringing other people who he knew could come in and take it further from there. As a manager, as a play caller, he has had this thing down pat, and I don't think he gets the credit that he deserves.
I don't either. It's funny how they'll complain about some of the sayings that he has because he played. but Marty Morningwig comes in and you can't stand it. He never played. Right. I give me the football guy, right? Now, it doesn't mean it's always going to be top to bottom, best every single week, but he's proven he knows what the hell he's doing, all right? And it's not just, hey, you know what, he's a player's coach and all that other crap. No, that dude gets after it. He knows what he's doing. He puts in those long hours. He deserves a lot of that credit. Now, he's got a lot of talent. Pro Football Focus has come out with its top 50 players. How many Lions are on the top 50?
4.
We know, so.
Chat family, what you guys think, man? Get your answers. How many you think
I didn't want to answer
are
because
in
I
the
know.
top 4? Yeah, because that's why I
Okay.
got the screen just on you right now.
Okay.
Give our chat family a little bit of time to play along, man.
So there are. Would you want me to hold off on the number? I mean, they don't have to answer. That's
Yeah.
okay. There are 4 in the top 50. Penei Sewell, Aiden Hutchinson, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Jahmyr Gibbs. It's not surprising.
No.
Do they deserve more? And if so, who is it? I like this list better than writers' lists, and I like this list better than some of the ESPN lists where we've talked about, where they've had executives, scouts, and coaches unnamed. Pro Football Focus, they don't have to put a name. It's all about numbers, and it's about wins above replacement. So that's not just a baseball thing. It's wins above replacement. Like if you look at wins above replacement, look at Aaron Judge. Look at his wins above replacement. He's a baller, okay? It's 10.8 a year ago. Put that in perspective, Tarek Skubal last year was what, 6.8? And it's not one of those things where you're making up on a test. Oh, I just missed 2, and I can suddenly make my percentage go from 70% to 80%. No, it takes a lot to make that up. It takes a lot. So that's what I like about this. I love the fact that this is Pro Football Focus, and they're basing it on all the different numbers that are most important in the sport of football.
I do like that aspect of it, but I believe the numbers are flawed in this regard because I think that the people who are taking the stats are a little biased. Shout out to Easy and Spencer for really diving in on this one. They got into a Twitter argument about Pro Football Focus and about Penei Sewell versus Lane Johnson, and they were pulling up tape of Lane Johnson and Penei Sewell, and they're counting one thing as a sack for Penei Sewell, who only let up 1 sack last year, but the same play didn't count as a sack for Lane Johnson for whatever reason. So I have a very big issue with how they take their numbers to make this list because I personally think that a couple of these numbers are too low.
But how are they homers when it's Pro Football Focus? They're not in Detroit. They're not in Philadelphia.
I'm not saying it's a homer thing. I'm just saying that I don't think that there's a consistency with how they measure the stats. I think that they have some. I don't understand it. I've just seen the tape that Spencer and Easy have pulled, and it is Jalen Hurts scrambling to the right. Lane Johnson lets his guy go, and he sacks Jalen Hurts, and they don't count it as a sack. Penei Sewell
counted for a tackle for loss is what they counted?
They might have.
Okay.
But he was still in the pocket, and Jared Goff.
Oh, I thought you said he scrambled to the right. I'm sorry.
He was.
Okay, so he's still in the pocket.
He was. We're counting the pocket as where the tackles are at their edges.
Right.
He was still in that area.
Gotcha.
So I believe it should be a sack. I believe counted as a tackle for loss, like you said.
Okay.
And I think that's where they're not given the correct.
Do you think that? And look, that's a really good example. Give him credit. How many examples could you use the other way?
No one was able to provide any examples in the counter tweets at Spencer and Easy.
Because we could be very selective in our decisions with our guys too. Can you separate yourself from your fandom of the Detroit Lions and recognize the Eagles' offensive line was much better than the Lions' offensive line last year, and that Lane Johnson actually might be a really good player, as good as, if not better than, a guy like Penei Sewell? I'll take Penei Sewell. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying.
I think there's definitely an argument to be made. Lane Johnson's a better pass blocker than Penei Sewell, but Penei Sewell's a better run blocker. And I think that you could go either way. And the cases have been made on a lot of different occasions. And I personally believe that Penei Sewell is more dominant on a play-to-play basis versus Lane Johnson. And that's why I would take him over Lane Johnson.
I'll tell you what's interesting. The highest rated tackle is not Lane Johnson. and it's not Penei Sewell.
It's Tristan Wirfs.
No.
Really?
It's Jordan Mailata.
All right.
He's the highest rated player. Tristan Wirfs is the second highest rated tackle. And all of them, and Rashawn Slater is higher than Penei Sewell. And Lane Johnson. Trent Williams is higher than Lane Johnson and Penei Sewell. And Lane Johnson is higher than Penei Sewell. But they're close. They're really close to one another. Penei Sewell is ranked 21. Lane Johnson is 19. So if we're looking at Lane Johnson only, I mean, unless we want to break it down by right tackles, okay, because Trent Williams is a left tackle, as you know, and Mailata is a left tackle, as you know. So
is Wirfs.
So is Wirfs. So maybe it's a little different.
Let's stick to right tackle.
Okay, so if you stick to right tackle, only Lane Johnson is ahead of him. All right? I'm not going to nitpick over, 2 spots there. I just look at – I think we in Detroit look at Penei Sewell as the best offensive lineman – offensive tackle in football. And Pro Football Focus and ESPN would say no. How do we deal with that? When we're convinced that our guy is the best, and then somebody else is telling us they're not.
But that's when you look at the argument, they have right now Bijan Robinson 10 spots effectively ahead of Jahmyr Gibbs.
Mm-hmm.
Even though
I like Bijan Robinson a lot. I think he's really good.
I like him a lot, but everything Jahmyr Gibbs did, even sharing a backfield, and he still outperformed Bijan Robinson. That's the stuff to me that I just don't understand. It took so many more touches for Bijan Robinson to barely have more rushing yards than Jahmyr Gibbs. But Jahmyr Gibbs, 16 touchdowns to the 14 for Bijan, 5.6 per carry versus 4.8. And Bijan had 304 carries to 250 for Jahmyr. Then you look at Jahmyr Gibbs in the receiving game. You're talking about 517 yards, 4 touchdowns, and almost 10 yards a catch. That's huge when you compare that to just 1 receiving touchdown, 7.1 average receiving for Bijan Robinson, and just 431 yards. So for me personally, I'm looking at a guy in Jahmyr Gibbs who didn't have as many opportunities but still outperformed Bijan Robinson. But PFF will tell you there's a 10-spot difference between the two.
Yes.
It doesn't
seems like a lot, doesn't it? Seems like a lot. I don't know what numbers. This is all up to the individual. What numbers matter most to you? I mean, if you bring up the rushing touchdowns. I mean, if that's the case, Barry Sanders is never in that conversation because the most he had was 16. It did lead a league, but for the most part, he's 10, 11 rushing touchdowns, and he to me is the greatest running back of all time. So I think we got to be careful when we start comparing numbers. PFF takes more than just those numbers into account for a player. I'm not saying I'd take Bijan Robinson over Jahmyr Gibbs. Right. I wouldn't. I think the discrepancy we're talked about is the thing that bothers us most. You can almost accept that your guy is second on the list of best running backs or best best tackles.
Oh,
or whatever.
I'll never accept Bijan in front of Jahmyr Gibbs. I can't. I respect him.
Okay,
but Jahmyr has just been the better back to this point.
So you would take Derrick Henry over him? You're okay with that? Because Derrick Henry's way over him too. How come you don't have a problem with Derrick Henry?
Because Derrick Henry has been a better back as it relates to a number one as well in comparison.
But we're talking about last
Gibbs.
year. We're talking about last year only, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you would take Derrick.
But Jahmyr Gibbs was better than Bijan Robinson last year. He just was. He's been better his whole career.
Was he not better than Derrick Henry?
Yeah.
So
you can make an argument for Derrick Henry being better. For sure. And I think that the only players I'm willing to accept above Jahmyr Gibbs is Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley. I think that's where the list starts and ends.
And it's almost with Derrick Henry, there's a certain level of respect. With Saquon, he absolutely earned it. Absolutely. Hands down.
Yeah, look, I get it. I give you a lot of credit for willing to say, there was a respect and stuff. We're talking about a year-to-year basis here. I mean, if you're going to go respect, so you're telling me that Garrett Cole is going to be better than Tarek Skubal, right? Because out of respect and what he's done and what he's won and all that other stuff. But let's talk about 1 year and 1 year alone, okay? I'm not saying Derrick Henry is worse because he had a really good year. Don't get me wrong.
Slightly
but who do you want to throw the ball to? I mean, because you brought up the yards receiving and all that other stuff. Who do you want? Bijan Robinson was third in the league in rushing. What was wrong with that? So you can't tell me that you can accept Derrick Henry because of the respect thing.
Well,
Bijan Robinson's earned some respect too, man.
He earned some respect, but when you look at Derrick Henry, you're looking at almost 400 to 500 yards rushing more than Bijan Robinson and Jahmyr Gibbs. You're looking at a couple hundred yards receiving. So he wasn't absent in that part of the game, but when you put the ball in his hands, he too is going out there and getting you more yards per carry over Bijan Robinson.
Okay, so it's yard per carry.
Well, he put up overall more total yards than the Jahmyr Gibbs too. So it's like by a little bit, and that's why I tipped the cap. And when you're talking about the yards with Derrick Henry being third, that's 1456 on the year. Jahmyr Gibbs was 1412 on nearly 55 less carries.
Yeah, I think yards per attempt is probably my biggest value stat when it comes to a running back. And I think that Derrick Henry deserves that respect purely off of last year. Putting up 1,900 yards deserves a ton of respect.
Almost 6 yards a carry.
And
do you think running behind
attempt.
Detroit's offensive line hurt Jahmyr Gibbs in this Pro Football Focus?
Yes.
Bijan Robinson doesn't have the offensive line that Jahmyr Gibbs had.
100%.
Okay, and we all know this is a team sport. We all know that that's a factor. Okay, so how much should that weigh into account when we're talking about this type of stuff?
I'm assuming they also weigh yards. I don't know the technical term, but untouched yards where the ball carrier is free running through the offensive line where he doesn't get a hand on him for the first 3 yards. I think that some type of stat they do take into account where I think clean pockets and running lanes are very valued.
Sure.
Where I do think that did hurt Jahmyr Gibbs because he had plenty of clear running lanes where you're right. Bijan Robinson does not have that luxury. That Atlanta offensive line is nowhere as good as the Lions offensive line, especially because he's leaned on a lot more in the screen game than Jahmyr Gibbs is because of the fact that they need to get the ball to him in space with open areas to run.
Bijan Robinson was top 10 in Pro Football Focus's grades, rushing, passing, and there's a method behind their madness. I'm not saying it's the right way. I'm just saying their method was you're looking at attempts, forced missed tackles, yards attempt after contact, and Bijan Robinson was second in each of those to Derrick Henry. So that's why I'm not telling you that it's right. I'll take Jahmyr Gibbs every day of the week and twice on Sunday.
I think that they're favoring probably more of the workhorse that we've seen Bijan be because he's had to be that. Like I can't deny that. He has had to be a bell cow and a workhorse for them that Jahmyr hasn't.
Yeah.
But that's what makes Jahmyr Gibbs so intriguing is that what happens when you start to increase that usage even more. And we saw it. When David Montgomery went out, Jahmyr Gibbs took another step forward. But Bijan has proven he can definitely take the hits. He can take the contact. He can take the physicality. He can make people miss at all levels. And so I don't disrespect Bijan. And
he's one of the most dangerous dual threat players, not just running backs.
Yeah.
Dual threat players in the National Football League. Jahmyr Gibbs is, without a doubt. It'll be very interesting to monitor how much usage David Montgomery gets compared to Jahmyr Gibbs this year.
I agree. I think it's going to be leaning even more Jahmyr Gibbs than it was last year, but I don't think that David Montgomery will have some minuscule role where he won't have over 10 touches a game. He still will get his carries. He still will play a pivotal part in this offense, but I do think some of the goal line work that he gets where in the beginning of the year you went down to the goal line and you knew the ball was going to go to Dave Montgomery.
Yeah.
I think there will be times where Jahmyr Gibbs is in the game on the goal line to give you a different look. I think that's going to start to happen more, and I think that you're going to start to see Jahmyr Gibbs in there as a blocker at some points, which I'd prefer to have David Montgomery in there. But
he's good at that too.
He can do it. He proved it. He was very good.
That's what I like about him. I mean, I think he is literally the all-everything back. I think he's a really good blocker. First of all, he's a really smart player. So he sees what the quarterback is seeing when it comes to So I really like the high football IQ, and I think he's really good at every phase of a running back. Now, he'll be the first to admit, I've got stuff to work on, but I love that aspect of him. Blocking, catching, running, the intricacies it takes to play the position. It's really fun to watch him. We're lucky. Okay, we're lucky because we've got two really good backs. As long as Montgomery's 100%, two really good backs that they can rely on.
And we're lucky enough to have two explosive enough players who every time they touch the ball, they can score a touchdown. And Jahmyr Gibbs and Jameson Williams, which a lot of teams in the NFL cannot say. They can give two players the ball at any point on the field and they can go score a touchdown.
And every defense has got to account for them.
Look, I got to get to some of these super chats over here, and one that's not a super chat. All right. Blake apologized for being on your head today.
No,
he said he took a smoke break, and he's okay now.
He doesn't have to apologize. He said that's okay.
He loves it.
He's fine. I mean, I love the debate. I think it's really healthy. And you help me think of things differently too. That's what this is supposed to be all about.
Hey, and we got two super chats here, so thank you guys for supporting the new show. Thank you guys for supporting Braylon Edwards' show with Shep, man. Michael Wary says, before Brad, how many winning seasons did we have in the Super Bowl era? I count 5. We've got 3 in a row now. I'm just saying. Shout out to him with the $5 super chat. And it's Big Cat 812 $5 super chat. He says, Shep is a godsend. Is that Calvin Sheppard or Matt Sheppard?
That's Calvin Sheppard.
Nah, it's got to be Matt, man. He says, I've been sleeping in lately. Good to see you too, Kool-Aid. Shout out to you guys, man. Thank you guys
Appreciate
for supporting.
everybody listening and watching. Braylon will be back tomorrow. The Braylon Edwards Show here Monday through Friday, 2 till 4. Great stuff from Justin today. Thanks, brother.
Shout out to Justin.
Yes.
Kool-Aid, my man Ricky, KG. Love you guys.
It was a pleasure.
It's awesome to be part of this program. Awesome to have you alongside as well. We'll see you tomorrow at 2 o'clock here on Woodward Sports.
Hit that like button.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.